What's good, Fins Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We're back with another one, and I'm joined, as always, by the Jason Taylor to my Zach Thomas. What's good, EM?
What's good, homie? What is good? Let's get it.
You ready to get this?
Mm-hmm.
I know you saw that graphic today, and you just probably rubbed your hands together.
Oh my god! I almost fell out of my chair. I almost fell out of my chair, bro.
Probably rubbing your hands together like Birdman.
Before we get into it, I just want to let the fan base know I take no comfort in what we're about to discuss today on this.
There's a few names. There's a few names you're gonna take comfort.
Maybe with the exception of one, but I'm not taking any comfort with this, man. So
yeah,
we'll see.
All right. So guys, basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through. We've compiled a list together of cut candidates, and we're going with. We're not going with jabronis, guys, that are going to be resorted to the practice squad or they're number 4 on the depth chart. We're going with more notable names on the squad. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go over our list, our personal list. We'll talk about it, and then we're going to open up the StreamYard link for all you guys to jump in, and you can give us either some guys you think we missed or your thoughts. Let's talk about something right quick, though, because people have been hitting me up on Twitter specifically about it, EM. And actually, as soon as it happened, guys, like literally a minute after he was released, I called EM. And I said, and he had just seen it too when I called him. And I said, yo, we need to add Warford to this squad 110%. It's not even a question. Are you kidding me? I mean, we could probably get him for a 2-3 year deal. What, 2 years, 20 million, guarantee 16, 17 of it, right? And then when you look at it, this guy's 28. He's he's been Pro Bowl the last 3 years. And I mean, the only reason is he became expendable due to them. They're obviously kicking Cesar Ruiz out to right guard, which is again something here on this channel. We talked about that. If we drafted him, that would probably be the option for the first year. And it looks like the Saints are following that themselves. So EM, wouldn't you feel more comfortable? Because it seems like they've given Hunt the leg up in the tackle battle on the right side. Wouldn't you feel more comfortable putting a guy like Warford right next to him? And then on the left side, you can have Flowers right next to Austin Jackson. So you got these two rookie tackles learning from seasoned veterans in the league. And on top of that, how strong would our interior be if we made that signing?
Oh, I would absolutely love it, bro. You kidding me? 3-time Pro Bowl player. He fits that profile that we seem to be, that this staff seems to covet. Scheme fit wise, I think it'll be a seamless transition for him. It would be an ideal acquisition. And look at the depth. If we are able to secure him, look at the depth that it would create with our offensive line. You know what I mean? And you don't necessarily have to throw, I get, it appears to be that, Flores and our staff might be leaning towards Robert Hunt at right tackle. It appears that way. But again, you want, if we're able to secure him, you have him on the right side, and you want that veteran presence from that'll just help out immensely. Just the communication up front alone. Again, we talked about this on yesterday on the stream, or the other day, whenever it was, about the lack of communication up front, pre and post snap. That it created the lack of communication created so much leakage up front.
Yeah,
so many guys coming up, blitzing up the middle free, coming untouched,
and sorry to cut you off, EM, but that's one of the reasons they brought in Kilgore, was to be the leader up front, and the guy couldn't stay on the field, right? So that made it even worse, right?
Exactly. So I think ideal if this scenario plays out, bro, ideally that's what you want. You want a veteran presence on the interior generally, and you want the more athletic guys, the younger presence on the outside. So it would be ideal if they made this happen. I mean, you'd be a perfect fit. Perfect. So yeah, that I don't know how much money
fits the profile for the power gap scheme we want to run, right?
Absolutely. I don't know how much money he's won, but man, two years, $20 million, guaranteed 16. That should get it done. And you've got the additional cap space that you created with the restructuring of Albert Wilson's contract. So you've got the money sitting there. Why not make an investment like this to make your offensive line that much stronger? And the rookies can sit and learn and take the same approach that Tua will take, learning from Ryan Fitzpatrick, our rookie Kinley, or if Jesse Davis wins out the right tackle spot, Hunt could sit and learn from him. They take the same approach, and it creates so much depth on it up front. So Flores, Greer, if you're listening, you might be, you may not be. Make this happen. I will feel so much better going into week 1, bro. So much better.
And considering the quarterback we drafted, the investment makes even much more sense. Like, to me, Clowney wouldn't even be like. I know people have been asking about Clowney lately. Man, I wasn't even thinking about Clowney before because that ship had sailed to me, or that bus had left the station. But with Warford, I would be, man, as soon as that hit the waiver wire, like as soon as that hit the news wire, man, I would be calling up his agent in one split second. That just makes way too much sense because now Kinley can learn behind, because guys, Kinley is natural to the left. Kinley doesn't play right guard. So, you know, the whole idea of shifting him to right guard potentially, you know, it makes
there's going to be a learning curve there. There's definitely going to be a learning curve there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I agree with your reason 100%. You know, I've been on record. You know, our fan base knows that how I feel about Jadeveon Clowney. But at this point, what they did in free agency and in the draft, I just think it makes so much more sense to go this route and make this investment on the offensive line as opposed to going that Clowney route. So
yeah, I just think Larry Warford. I mean, you're not going to find, man. Me and EM, we were talking. We were giving up the hypothetical situation, guys, a couple months ago about, if you remember, from Oakland, Ronnie Hudson. And now you can go get the same type of quality guard to plug on the right side, and you don't have to give up assets.
Exactly. Ideal. Man, if they can just make this happen, I'm telling you, that it would improve things so much up front, man. I hope they're considering this. So,
dude, and not only do I think would it improve the development of, you know, a Robert Hunt if you want to kick him to right tackle, but I think it'll quicken the timeline of his improving or you seeing what his ceiling's going to be at right tackle with a guy like that next to him. Just like I think the best option for Austin Jackson is being stuck at left tackle next to Eric Flowers, right? Just because you got that seasoned veteran on the inside, man, that can lead them. You know, there's going to be times out there where they might be a deer in headlights, and it's going to be a situation where if they got a veteran next to them, man. I mean, when you're walking to that line of scrimmage, that guy can give you the heads up if you have a brain fart.
Absolutely.
That goes a lot further than people think, especially with rookies, right?
Absolutely, bro. You definitely won't see. I think even if we don't make this happen, I think with the veteran presence of Karras and Eric Flowers up front, you won't see the breakdowns that we saw to that level like we saw last year. I think our line has been. I think with just those two additions alone, I think our line will, you know, definitely improve. But this would, man, they get a player like the 3-time Pro Bowl player coming off a Pro Bowl year, man. This kid here, I mean, again, I will feel so much more comfortable with Ryan Fitzpatrick or whatever quarterback they have at the helm. With that line, with that kind of athleticism on the perimeter of the line, but interior, can you imagine the running lanes that these guys?
That's what I'm saying too.
Three interior players are going to create, bro. Oh, man.
I mean, you add a guy like that, you secure the interior for the next 2 years for Tua.
Oh, absolutely.
It's deeper than even worrying about a Solomon Kindley. You got to worry about your franchise quarterback that you just invested $35 million in, and also a 5th overall draft pick. So absolutely. I think, you know, would feel very comfortable with that interior of Flowers, Karras, and Warford going in, and then Kindley, like I said. guys, you know, he's a natural left guard, right? So I mean, I'm sure he could slide a right guard, but he's played his whole career at left. So that guy looks more like he could grow under Flowers and take snaps away eventually from Flowers. You know what I mean? And Hunt right now, it's coming pretty clear. They want to start Hunt out at right tackle. And am I really worried about Jesse Davis falling further behind if I can add a guy who's coming off 3 straight Pro Bowl seasons? No, I'm not, because I don't think Jesse Davis is ever going to offer you 3 straight or Pro Bowl caliber at that position. So I gotta go, man. His ceiling, Jesse Davis's ceiling, is not Pro Bowl guard. It's solid guard. Dependable guard.
And Davis now becomes the swing tackle.
Yep.
Like when you want to implement the heavier packages, when you go that 13 personnel package and you substitute a tight end with an extra lineman that you see like the 49ers do, and like you see the Seattle Seahawks implement in their running game. Oh man, that would be, bro. Can you imagine?
Shout out to B Ferguson 50, bro. We noticed Blake Ferguson. We got the best long snapper in the draft and then LSU, and he's a winner. So, and he tweeted out some mad love to Tua. So Blake Ferguson has quickly become one of my favorite players in the draft just on personality alone. So out here, we noticed the long snappers, B Ferguson 50, but go on again.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah. But yeah, man, when you want to implement those heavier packages and you substitute those 12 and 13 heavy sets, and you substitute, you substitute a tight end with an extra lineman. Now Jesse Davis can fill that role. Man, that I'm telling you, that it just in addition like this just gives you so much flexibility in what you can do in terms of power package that you can implement. Yeah. So yeah, Flores, Greer, if you're listening, you might not be. Make this one happen. This will be the cherry on top to this offseason. Cherry on top, bro.
Yeah. So do you want to go through some of our names that could potentially have
Oh man, do we
some
have
bus
to?
tickets printed out?
Do we have to? Do we have to?
Because shout out to Blake Ferguson for already having us issue our bus ticket for our last long snapper. Shout out to you, brother. You already make a move. Yeah. We love it.
Yeah. Do we have to? Let's get it. Are you gonna go? You're going. I'm assuming positionally, right?
Yeah, we're gonna roll through position. They're not in order the way I set them up, but I will keep them in position.
Okay.
All right.
So you're gonna start with the quarterbacks, maybe? No.
No, we're gonna save that one
for last. Okay.
We ball game down in the comments. We're gonna save that for him.
Tell ball game to hop in, bro. Tell him to get in on this. I want to see his reaction.
Yeah, we'll drop that StreamYard link after we're done this.
Okay, cool. That's what's up.
All right, man. So the bus has come has pulled in the station, guys.
I don't know if y'all can see. I don't know if you can see my face. I'm driving. I'm the one driving. So and
I'm on the other side of the bus. I'm checking everyone's ticket.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So let's start out with some light work then, okay? And we'll go straight to you. Cordrea Tankersley.
Man, when we talked earlier, when we were kind of going over what players we were going to bring up on the stream tonight, when you brought up Cordrea Tankersley's name, I had totally forgotten about this kid. Totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I think Tankersley. Think about this for a minute, okay? I don't necessarily think it all depends on his health, okay? Before I get into what I'm about to say, it all depends on his health. If he's healthy and he's got his speed, he's got his acceleration, he's got his burst back, he's got his change of direction back to what we saw 2 years ago, I'm gonna lean more towards I want to see him, because if you look at your top 4 guys, you got obviously Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, Nick Needham, Noah, the kid. I apologize, homie. I still can't pronounce your name.
Noah Igbenogany. Shout out to Noah Igbenogany.
Those are your 4 top guys, okay, on paper, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what other depth do you have behind them? If Tankersley gets back to where he was 2 years ago, Tankersley clearly is head and shoulders above anybody else you have on the roster. So why not bring him back again, as long as he's healthy? Why not bring him back, okay? Because, I mean, Tankersley has got first-round ability all day long. He just slid to the 3rd round because of whatever issues that, we're not going to get into that, but whatever issues that happened.
But now he's had a couple serious lower body injuries too, and his athleticism was one of his highlights, right?
Right. Again, that's why I said if he returns to that 2017 form, physically.
That's 3 years, brother.
I agree 100%. But if he does return, I'm keeping him because that's way too much athleticism. I'm going to have him come into camp and have a legitimate shot to win a job.
So So will you be issuing a bus ticket to Cordrea Tankersley?
At this point, I'm going to lean more toward. I think he's safer now. This
is by the end of camp, or even some candidates on here, they might not be here on 2021. We might not renew them, or we might bring them back. So do you see Cordrea Tankersley either entering this year or even being on the roster beyond that? Like, will you be issuing his bus ticket by the end of this season?
If I'm a betting man, yeah, I'm leaning more towards I'll be putting that ticket off.
It's getting too packed, man.
Yeah, and that is a lot of time that he's missed. I mean, ideally, me personally, I want to see what I have. But yeah, if I'm a betting man, I'll be printing that ticket off for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's stick with that, brother. Let's stick with that position. So I'm gonna bring up this name, and I look at this more as I think he'll be here, but I think at the end of this season we'll probably move on from him. Bobby McCain.
Oh, definitely. Me personally, I'm trying to move off Bobby McCain ASAP.
Yeah.
Like yesterday. I'm trying to move off of him, but he's too expensive. I've been on record saying that I'm not as high on him when he was just relegated to the primary slot role.
Way too much money for what we got.
Exactly. Right? I tell you, you gotta love Mike Tannenbaum. I tell you, bro. But
thank God we didn't listen to him, bro, or we'd all be ordering our Herbert jerseys.
He needs to have Tannenbaum on his Christmas list for the rest of his life, bro. For that contract he gave him for sure. But no, man, I'm trying. I don't know why a good portion of the fan base was high on him when he was relegated, when he was a primary slot. I didn't see the production there.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have missed something. I don't know, but I've been on record consistently. I am not a Bobby McCain fan in any way, shape, or form.
Neither am I.
He's not an elite athlete. He never was. When they drafted him, I think he came out of Memphis. Memphis. I think he came. Yeah, didn't he come from Memphis? I think so. But anyway, when they drafted him, I wasn't high on him. My evaluation on him at that point in time was not that high. So even now, he's more older, more expensive, and he can't even stay on the field. Yeah. No, absolutely not. I'm trying to move off of him the first chance I get.
So has a guy like Adrian Colburn, maybe possibly potentially, that could end up being the guy that supplants him because they tried to move him to safety. Could that signing, that be the move that supplants Bobby McCain in the long run?
Absolutely. Because one thing about Colburn, he's young. Yep. And again, they extended him. So that tells me they see value.
He's very athletic. He's got the athletic.
Extremely athletic.
There, right? He's got the athletic profile to fit in there. So
extremely athletic. Yeah. I mean, this kid is, so yeah, absolutely. But yeah, for now, I think he will be given I think he would be given a legitimate opportunity to win that role outright. And then if he doesn't, if he stinks it up and he can't, he's not up to their standard, they'll go in the next year targeting a safety at some point high in the draft.
So for Bobby McCain, that is an all aboard.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So let's stick with defense here, brother. We've been talking about, rooms getting packed, at different positions. The trenches are all of a sudden, the rooms are packed. The quarterback room's packed. The secondary is getting packed. The wide receiver room is for sure packed. Jerome Baker, do you see him being issued a bus ticket this season or potentially in the offseason next year when the season is said and done?
I think the ideal approach to Jerome Baker, and I've been consistent about this for a year now, the ideal approach to Jerome Baker's status on this roster is to identify a trade target immediately, because I just do not see, with the additions that they made in the offseason and in the draft, I do not see already with the players that they have that in Vince Beagle, them extending him getting an extension. Okay, I think he'll transition primarily to the interior. I think even we know how all of our linebackers, we all know how our coaching staff deploys our linebackers. They like everyone to be interchangeable, everyone to play, multiple spots. Jerome Baker can't do that. And, I think he's a sub-package player. You implement him in passing situations where you can take advantage of his coverage ability. But to warrant the amount of snaps that he got last year, I just don't see him being an ideal. And I've been consistent about this for a year. I do not see him being an ideal scheme fit in this base 34. Yeah. And again, the presence of when they signed Gruber Hill, again, Jerome Baker's a very, very good athlete. Gruber Hill is an ultra athlete. He's ultra athletic. So he can provide you. He's cheaper. Okay. He's cheaper. He can provide you what Jerome Baker gives you. And you can kick. He's better on the interior than what Jerome Baker ever was in terms of stopping the run. So I think I think Gruber Hill has more, he's more instinctual. He's a more instinctive middle linebacker than what Jerome Baker, because I think Jerome Baker is just not a natural middle linebacker. Mm-hmm. He's just not. I think they just put him there because he was the only option there. They had no other alternative. And I think
Raekwon is going to be the only guy from a past regime that's starting in that linebacker core and that sticks because he has the profile of what they want to do. Like people are talking about Jerome Baker at safety, and I don't think it's going to happen. It was a good idea when we talked about it, but I don't think they're going to rock that. And again, he's not a Flores guy, so Flores doesn't owe him anything, right?
No. So me personally, my ideal approach to him is I'm trying to idea a trade target, because I don't think he's. And see, I was going to say you could keep him on the roster.
You're going to go after a 4. You're going to go after a 4-3 team with him, right?
Yeah, I'm a target of a base 4-3 team.
Yeah,
because I think his natural position is the will linebacker position in a 4-3. I think so. But if initially I said, well, just leave him on the roster and let him walk and collect the compensatory pick. But I don't think he's going to see the field enough to warrant a decent enough pick. You know what I'm saying? Next year. Yeah. So I think now is the time to identify a potential trade target for Jerome Baker, because I just don't think he just doesn't fit. He just doesn't fit, in my opinion. So that linebacker room is crowded, bro.
Very crowded, brother.
Crowded.
And Ginkle's got to get snaps. Beagle's got to get snaps. What's going to happen with Sam Iguavin? Like, what's he going to do? Like, all these guys need snaps too. Not even the big names, right? Like,
if Jerome Baker has his ticket, Equivon, he's getting his as well, bro. I got one printed for him too. He ain't gonna be on the roster either. He has the same issues as Jerome Baker, but he's not as good of he's less of an athlete than what Jerome Baker is. So
you can see him as being a cut candidate.
Oh yeah, he ain't even. You know what? He won't even get a ticket, bro. Yeah. He won't even get a bus ticket. He's just
gonna show him where the pavement is and tell him to walk down it.
Exactly. Show him where the bus stop is. So.
All right. Not even EM's gonna not even give him bus fare. Gonna do him dirty like that. All right. So the next guy is someone who me and you have talked about multiple times, and we said when Drew Rosenhaus put out that tweet with the money bag emoji saying you're up next, we basically already knew it. Clicked in me and you mind. The writing's on the wall. Again, when I saw that tweet, I called EM right away and I said, yo, check this out. And me and him had the discussion. We're like, and this was weeks and weeks ago. And we're like, yo, this kid's done already. And we haven't even hit training camp. But I think with guys like Benito Jones and, some of the, Raekwon, because he's going to get shifted around, Davis, I think snaps are going to get started to take away. And this guy expects to be paid. So EM, will Davon Godchaux be issued a bus ticket at the end of the season saying, go get paid somewhere else?
You know what? I've had time since our initial conversation about him. First off, I want to say this. I really like Davon Godchaux as a player.
And as a person.
On and off the field.
Yeah, he is good. Yeah.
Tons of respect for this
This is nothing personal, by the way, guys. These are just like
exactly
what makes logical sense with where they're heading.
Exactly. So, with that being said, I thought not the addition of Raekwon Davis. I think when they poached Zach Seiler off the Baltimore Ravens practice squad, they were able to get I don't think the fan base really has an understanding of how good of an athlete this kid is.
Because they didn't really see him. What's crazy, when they picked him up, when we were on TD's platform, me and you were specifically singling him out, but you really didn't start him to see him get deployed and get comfortable till the end of the year when no one was really watching, like that position. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
and this kid, ideal 3 to 5 technique. I mean, he's first off, he's for that position, for a player that he's an extraordinary athlete. So I think his play, you saw the production towards the end of the season in that 3 to 5 technique role. He played extremely well the last 4 games of the season. I just think they're going to look at again, Godchaux is not a Flores guy. Okay. I don't think Godchaux he's not, for him to transition primarily to the nose tackle position. I don't think he's too inconsistent in too many areas of his game to be played there primarily. I think that's why they selected Raekwon Davis, because he's so much better in taking.
Yeah, you got to be solid in the run support too. You
got to be an anchor. You got to be an anchor. You got to be an anchor. And I think Godchaux, I don't want to say this guy's not, because he's shown at times he's got the strength to hold the point. But I just think he's just too inconsistent. I don't think he's good enough with his hand placement. But I think Zach Seiler and Raekwon Davis, they're head and shoulders. If you look at their tape, they're head and shoulders in that area. They're head and shoulders above Davon Godchaux in that area. And that is, again, your hand placement is paramount on the interior of this defense. And I just think Godchaux, for the price that he would be asking.
That's the thing. It's not about warranted. The player, guys. It's about what he's going to be asking for. What we're going to get back for that, scheme fit wise and production wise, and what we ask responsibility wise. It just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
So again, my ideal approach, again, just like Jerome Baker, I would look to see what I could possibly get in terms of a trade. I would target another base 3-14 where he can be, because I think his natural position is a defensive tackle and a base 4-3, and I would be trying to see what I can get in terms of the trade market. But if he does,
what about if you get a compensatory? You can get a compensatory pick for him.
Yeah, right? I think we would get a 3rd round pick.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I agree. I think he's going to sign a decent contract with a 4-3 team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So,
but he's another guy. If you're going to target a trade partner, just like Jerome Baker, you're going to look for a 4-3 team, and you're going to see that theme with non-Flores guys. They were, the wide 9-4-3 scheme is what they were basically drafted to fit into, and that's obsolete to what we want to do right now. McMillan is the only one who's going to stick, like we said, because he fits the profile of what they want to do. He's one of the few that looks like he was a multi-scheme draft selection. So.
No, go get your paper, Godchaux. Go get your paper, homie.
So ain't gonna be taxed by the state of Florida. That's for sure.
No. So go get your paper, bro. So
all aboard for Davon Godchaux after this season.
Yeah. I definitely take no comfort with this, with this player, but it is what it is. I'm about the logo. I keep telling y'all, I don't fall in love with players. It's the logo and nothing
unless
else.
You're transcendent. Unless you're transcendent, like
Unless
a Marino or a Zach Thomas or a Jason Taylor. Well, even Jason Taylor, you went to the enemy with the Jets, so to a point, I got to kind of question that. But a Zach Thomas or if Ricky didn't do us dirty, I'm sure he'd make this list too. But if you're a Marino or a Shula or a Zach Thomas, okay, you have my undying loyalty. But beyond that, there ain't too many that have donned this jersey that are going to have my loyalty beyond that logo, right?
Yeah,
so
I agree.
So we were talking about Larry Warford earlier, about adding him to this crop, but we've also added Solomon Kinley. We added Eric Flowers. You know what I mean? So, we added Robert Hunt. It's starting to get packed there. I'm not going to include Austin Jackson because he's going to be a tackle, whereas Robert Hunt could do both. What does it mean for a guy like Danny Isidora? Is his bus ticket going to be coming through your printer sometime during the cuts at training camp?
Oh, he's another one, bro. I'm going to save my ink, bro. I'm saving my ink, and I'm just pointing in the direction of the bus stop. He's following Sam Equivine. He's going to follow him and go to the end of 113 Miami Way. And you see that stop sign down there, 113 Miami Way. I know that's not a real. I'm just trying to make a joke here. But he's going to follow him to the bus stop. He doesn't even warrant a ticket. He's giving us absolutely nothing. So, yeah, he will be gone as well.
Yeah, that's just he doesn't even stand a chance at what we've done to that room, right? So he might not even get a bus ticket. He might be another guy where we throw him a pair of sandals and we say, enjoy your walk. So
I know, right?
So
113 Dolphins Way.
Yeah. I know we got Mike Gesicki. We didn't really do much at the tight end position, but we did have a kind of under the radar signing that you talked about. Michael Roberts. We got him for, I believe it was $700,000, and he's got decent hands, but he's also a really good blocker. What does that mean for Durham Smythe, who his only role is blocking because he's got concrete hands when they're supposed to be soft for a receiver?
Well, for me with Durham Smythe, okay. I think it's going to basically come down to a numbers game. What I mean by that is it's all about the offensive coordinator, Chan Gailey's, what his preference is. Some coaches, some coordinators like to carry multiple 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends. Some like to carry 4 tight ends, on the active roster. But I think it's going to come down to that primarily because Smythe, he does offer value in terms of his run block.
Great blocker, very good blocker.
He does offer value. So you can never have, again, with the inconsistency, especially up front in our offensive line, you can never have too many, good, solid run blockers up front. So I can see him this year being on the roster because, again, if you have Gesicki and you have, I forget his name is escaping.
Michael Roberts?
Roberts, yeah. You have Roberts. You have Smythe. And you have nothing else after that. So I think just from a depth perspective, I can see them holding on to him throughout, through this year, and then, maybe making a move next year to get somebody else, get a more athletic guy in.
So you're holding off on the bus ticket.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on that one. I could be wrong though, but I'm gonna hold off on Smythe.
All right, so let's get into 2 receivers. I know a lot of people expected Jakeem Grant, but we didn't put Jakeem Grant on this list because of what he offers in special teams as well. Isaiah Ford. I know a lot of people were high on him, especially at the end of the season. But when you add players like Matt Cole and Kirk Merritt, don't you think this could end up on him just falling further down the depth chart?
Yeah. I think, considering what they already have on the depth chart and the additions they made, because I think with the UDFAs that we were able to sign, both of those guys are just too athletic for Miami to not to find a spot for him. You know what I mean? They're especially Kirk Merritt. That kid, that is too much athleticism for you not to find a spot for him.
And if I remember correctly, you can't put him back on the practice squad, right? He's not practice squad eligible, if I remember.
Oh
correctly.
yeah. Ford is he's not.
Yeah, he's not.
So yeah, I think Ford, and again, for what he gave us, I think if you look at a guy and again, I've been on record, I'm high on Matt Collins. I know a lot of the fan base might not realize who he is, but this kid is another athlete. He's a freak athlete.
Came from Philadelphia, guys.
Right. I can't emphasize his athleticism enough. And he can give you what Ford gave us last year. He can slide into his role, okay? And he's an elite athlete.
But brother, that room, man, that's one of the fullest rooms out of all the positions.
I agree, but again, it just depends on. It's going to come down to a numbers game. Some coaches have different preferences in terms of the numbers count that they like to carry at each position, on the active roster. So, I'm a little cloudy on Chan Gailey's preferences.
I can see 6 or 7, but
yeah, because you look at the top 4 guys. You got Devontae Parker, Preston Williams, Albert Wilson, Jakeem Grant. You have Alan Hurns. You've got Hollins. You're up to 6, and then you have the 2 UDFAs.
That's
You're
8.
up to 8 now. You're up to 8 now.
So speaking of, so you're gonna. So what are you doing with Isaiah Ford? Do you think he's getting his bus?
He's gone. Oh, absolutely.
So then the next name up, which is a real interesting one too, because if I look at this 6, my top 6 is going to be Devontae, Preston, right? I'm going to keep Jakeem. I'm going to keep Albert, especially with his restructure. And I'm going to keep Kirk Merritt. I'm going to keep Matt Cole. So where does that leave a guy like Alan Hurns, EM?
I like, first, before I get into Alan Hurns, I want to say I like Alan Hurns. I like how he performed last year. I prefer in those slot positions, not necessarily prefer, but I like the slots to be bigger guys. I like that physical presence that he provided on the interior of our wide receiving core last year. I mean, he made some very good plays.
Kirk Merritt, though, brother.
What's that?
You can get that physical slot with Kirk Merritt, though.
That's true. But again, these UDFAs, they're gonna have to get in camp and prove it to me. You know what I mean? Hurns and Hurns is already doing it at the highest level. So I'm high on their athleticism, but doing it at Arkansas State and doing it in the NFL are 2 totally different things. And again, I'm high on their athleticism and their overall potential. But again, they're undrafted for a reason. But Hurns, they extended him last year. Flores has come out. I mean, he really is high on Hurns. He likes him a lot. So I can see them hanging on to Alan Hurns this year, another year. And I think next year they would look to move. For one of those kids, but I say that, but you see what Preston Williams did last year. You know what I mean? So it's possible.
I think at worst, Merritt's going to make the receiver squad, and I think at worst, Matt Cole is just going to he's going to start off on special teams. Like, I think both are going to make it 110%. And I think Merritt's going to make the receiving squad, and I think at worst, Matt Cole, you'll see him on the special teams, bro, for sure.
You don't think either one of them are going to the practice squad?
No, because I think either one of them will get signed, and I think they know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. But
I mean, look at. I mean, you're telling me a team like the Patriots couldn't use it like one of those guys, considering what
no doubt.
And between the Tyshawn Render pick, who is the defensive end that Belichick was out scouting while the combine was going on, and then going in to the Navy quarterback, we got Malcolm Perry. We've already gone right under their nose and give them the old 1-2. Who's to say they're not going to come back around and just hit us with it? So that's why. And I do think if there's going to be a receiver, like if they keep I think Alan Hurns could be the 6th guy, and that resorts to Matt Cole to special teams. That would make sense to me. If you're going to get the bottom of the receivers, I could see Alan Hurns being the one out of like the Isaiah Fords and such that his neck rises above the water a little bit. That makes sense to me for sure, especially given his story and the adversity thing. And I know they like that about him too. But aside from the play.
I wonder what we would gain in terms of cap savings if we were to move off of Alan Hurns, if we were to cut him, if we couldn't trade him. I wonder what the cap savings would be. So that could have that could play a part in this, situation unfolding. But I know they extended him last year. So,
I'm looking at it right now.
So,
they extended him for what, 2 years? 2 years, $7 million. So this year, 2020, he's got a cap hit of 2.9. He's got a dead cap of 866,000. His dead cap was last year when it was 2.2. They front loaded most of this extension to 2019.
Interesting. Yeah, man.
And then 2021, his dead cap is 433,000,
which is peanuts.
Both are peanuts, right? Both are under.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man. But again, it's what these two UDFAs do in camp. It just depends on what they do, bro. If they coming in and you're like, damn, they're blowing our staff away. Yeah, I could see. That would make Hurns expendable. That would make even, again, like I said, I'm high on Matt Collins' ability. This kid is an elite athlete. You want to play with that ability. I mean, on your team. But I don't know, man. I could see them. I think how it would play out. Again, these two kids, these two rookies, UDFAs coming in and making the 53-man roster. Even as athletic as Merritt is, I'm trying to find a spot for him in some capacity. But that's highly what we saw with Preston Williams do. We saw him do last year. That happens like once every. That doesn't happen that often. So
yeah.
But we'll see, man. I mean, either way, if these kids come in and perform, I'm all for it. And that makes Hurns expendable, because again, I think Matt Collins. Check this out. We get rid of Ford and we get rid of Allen Hurns as well. Well, that makes our total 7 right there with Matt Collins. So that'll give us 7 receivers on our roster. Correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You know what, bro? Mr. Hurns, I'm sorry, man. Let me hit this slice. Let me hit this print. Let me hit this printer button right quick, man. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear my printer? Y'all hear it? So yeah, I have to give. Yeah, I'm making that move. Yeah, I agree.
All right, man. So, let's get to our final 2. I know I see you in the comments, Dwayne. You mentioned a good name, but I'll leave that one for you. We were just trying to go with more kind of more names that people are throwing around and stuff right now. So let's go to a running back. Kalen Ballage. When you've added Matt Breida and you've added Jordan Howard, and this guy averaged 1.7 yards per carry, but everyone sold us on him having great hands, and they ended up being slippier than Butterfinger chocolate bars all over his. Each finger of his was basically a Butterfinger. So when you look at this guy, could this be the last year where this is your final shot? I mean, if you don't get it done, it's sayonara.
Absolutely. I'm probably gonna get killed over this, but I'm willing to give Kalen Ballage one more chance. Okay, this is the make or break situation for him. And I mean, I'm not even giving him
you'd get rid of like a Gaskin, or you'd get rid of a Laird before you move on from Ballage, right?
You know what? Yeah. Oh yeah, because his upside is tremendous. We all know what kind of athlete Kalen Ballage is. So I'm giving him one more year. I'm willing to invest in him one more year, because again, you can't teach 6'3", 230 pounds, and you have 4.4 speed. You cannot teach that athlete. You cannot find. It's not very many people that's been birthed on this earth have that kind of ability, bro. And Again, we all know we had to work by any metric you want to use. We had the worst rushing attack in 100+ year history of the NFL. We had a 37-year-old quarterback that led us in rushing for the duration of the season. So again, does Kalen Ballage, have holes in his game? Absolutely. I agree. I'm totally in agreement with you on there. But I will say this: I think the majority of the issues that Kalen Ballage had last year was mental. It was mental more than anything. And I think for the most part, you can say that about a lot of players that early on in the season. I mean, nobody was playing up to nowhere near their abilities. But I mean, so it took till mid-season for everybody to catch on, considering the storm that we had going on, the off the field stuff with this Tank for Tua stuff. Everybody killing us in the media, saying we were the worst, Flores was the worst coach in football, and we were possibly the worst team in NFL history. There was a lot of things going on on top of learning a new scheme, okay, and dealing with the lack of talent that we had up front. That's a lot to deal with. So again, we're all in agreement. I'm sure 98% of the fan base, we're all in agreement that we made significant improvements up front, especially if we go get Warford from New Orleans. Again, Kalen Ballage is a one-cut downhill runner, okay? And we are implementing
he's not gonna find the gaps. You got to open them up for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His vision is not, he's not Saquon Barkley. No, and he never will be. But again, you don't have to be productive in the NFL. You know what I mean? Put him in the right scheme. Get guys up front that can actually move people and reset the line of scrimmage. Kalen Ballage can be productive. Kitty B, Saquon Barkley, an upper echelon, Zeke Elliott type back, maybe not. But again, that three-headed monster now, you coming with Jordan Howard, you coming with Matt Breida, and you coming with Kalen Ballage, bro. I'm telling you, if we get the production up front with the offensive line, I'm telling you, he can be an asset next year.
So to me, the recipe for disaster for Kalen Ballage this year would be, I think he only makes about $750,000. The recipe for disaster would be if in training camp, whenever it happens, if Patrick Lair or Myles Gaskin or even a Delance Turner pick up Chan Gilly's system better than him, then he might be up the creek with no paddle. You know what I mean? He might just, and I don't mean they'll get rid of him right away, but he'll find himself, the fourth guy in the depth chart and really fighting for snaps. It's going to be one thing when he's third and he's behind Breida and he's behind Howard. He'll be fighting for snaps. But if he finds himself in the fourth or that fifth spot, snaps are going to be very hard to come by.
Oh, absolutely.
And you better get your printer ink ready for some time in the next 12 months. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no doubt. And you're moving on from you just cut bait and move on from it. But I'm just saying his profile, his athleticism alone is worth the further investment. Again, if we had a competent offensive line, we would be having a different conversation right now. Yeah. But considering I'm giving all our running backs a pass from last year because of what we didn't have up front.
And I know last year, going back to Hurns and Isaiah Ford, we only carried, I believe, 6 receivers last year. So that'll be interesting to see. Yeah, so how your Matt Collins, if you want Matt Collins slid in there, then that ain't going to be good for a guy like Alan Hurns. I mean, the thing is, it's going to be interesting to see how that works out so for Kalen Ballage, are you issuing the ticket or no?
No, but I'm hanging on to his ticket until training camp. Until, if he's falling behind on that depth chart, I'm not going to give him a full year, bro. He'll get his right around June-ish, right around July, right around mid-July, end of July maybe. So, yeah, if they get him in camp and he's clearly not up to speed now, that roster spots are too valuable anyway. So now, you move off of him at that point, either trade or cut it. Teams do it, another big cut down is coming soon, so you just move off of them at that point.
For sure. All right. So the final guy we got on our list, and someone who we've been talking about for quite some time, Josh Rosen, with Jake Ruddick being signed to a future contract, and not being eligible to go back down to the practice squad. And on top of that, he has NFL experience. And on top of that, I've been saying the timing was really fishy when they gave him that future contract before the draft, because to me it smelled like they were eyeing this guy as a legitimate backup on this roster, and we all knew Fitz was going to be back. So teams don't carry 4 quarterbacks. And I've already said, I said yesterday, my personal opinion is by the trade deadline, Josh Rosen will no longer be a Miami Dolphin. Okay? So going forward with that, is Josh Rosen getting his bus ticket this year or in the next offseason?
Oh, no. Absolutely, he is getting it this year. Josh Rosen, again, you alluded to Jake Ruddick. You remember last year when he announced that future contract they signed him to. What was the conversation privately that we had? I think it was me, you, Ball Game, and TD, I think, in our private conversation. What did we say? This, more so than any quarterback that they potentially could select in this year's draft, that was the nail in the coffin in terms of Josh Rosen's long-term roster status on his team. Did we not say that? This was going back when they first, and they announced that contract, back in, I think, September or October, I believe. So, yeah, man, Rosen, again, this is nothing personal. I don't want our fan base to think that, like, we're singling him out and we're making this part. I don't know Josh Rosen for a can of paint, but I'm just going by what this kid has done, 2 opportunities that he's had in the NFL. He's done nothing in Arizona. You can make excuses for him.
Hey guys, he ain't about to run an RPO offense.
No, he's not. He's not. He gave Arizona absolutely nothing. Okay. They moved quickly, identified what they had, and quickly moved off of him the very next year.
And what did they do? An air raid RPO, and he didn't fit the RPO.
Exactly. But even I know people say, well, Cliff Kingsbury wanted his guy. I understand that. But if Rosen would have showed you something foundationally that you think you can build upon, and this kid can be a successful franchise quarterback, they would have kept him no matter who the coach was. But Rosen gave him nothing. They quickly identified this kid is too deficient in too many areas of his game, and they quickly, and on top of that, Cliff Kingsbury was like, oh, absolutely not. He's not my guy. He evaluated him, had plenty of time to evaluate him. He was like, no. They quickly moved off of him. I think, and I hope Miami takes that exact same approach. They invested a second-round pick on him, took a flyer on him, and he gave you nothing in terms of a return on your investment. It's time to move on with this kid. He's giving you nothing. He's had 2 opportunities. 2. How many quarterbacks do you know that have come into the league that have 2 opportunities to start and head 2 franchises? Especially that at this juncture in their career. No, this kid is giving you nothing. He's not a scheme fit. We've highlighted consistently on this platform as well as other platforms. This kid he's a flawed player. Again, I'm not saying he should be out of the league, but again, this player has not, from UCLA to now, you haven't seen not even incremental improvements in his game, especially warrants a spot, and you put this dude in the face of your franchise. He's giving you nothing. You selected 2 in the first round, which we told y'all would happen for a year now. It's time to move on to him. I'm taking the exact same approach. Actually, I'm even more proactive than what I would be with Davon Godchaux and Jerome Baker.
You know what's funny to me though? What's with this freaking undying loyalty some of these fans have for Josh Rosen when he's done Jack Pratt?
I don't get it.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, this guy has done nothing to warrant any kind of loyalty, and all these people are like, "Oh, give him a chance. We didn't give him a chance." Let me tell you something, bro. When he played his first year in Arizona, he had 45 sacks. Okay, Kyler Murray had 49. Kyler Murray won Rookie of the Year.
I know, right?
It's not even close, guys.
Crazy.
And stop clinging on to the fact that he was a 10th overall pick. That means Ryan Leaf was a number 1 overall pick. How'd that work out?
Blaine Gabbert was a 7th.
Achilles Smith was a 1st overall pick, and the Bengals turned down 5 draft picks from the New Orleans Saints to move off of Achilles Smith. They said, no, we want to draft this guy. How did that work out? Jamarcus Russell. Remember the hype around that kid? Come on, man.
You're Blaine Gabbert. You're Jake Lockers. The point is, mistakes happen. My point to the Dolphin fan base is mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. Kudos to Arizona quickly identifying the mistake they made and quickly moving off of him.
And people think we're comparing Rosen to Ruddick. No, we are saying
no,
Rosen's not a fit. Ruddick is going to be a backup. Rosen doesn't fit in the room because he wants to be a starter.
Exactly.
Or he wants to be a number 2.
Exactly.
He's beating out Fitzpatrick, and he ain't beating out Tua Tagovailoa. He doesn't stand a chance against Tua Tagovailoa, and that's just it. So I mean, what do you want? You want this guy to be the number 3 this year?
I know, right? Listen,
why? Go get a 7th if you can for him.
To the fans out there that are gonna, because we're gonna get a lot of heat, I'm sure, but bring it. I welcome the heat. I live in Texas. I live in Texas. I'm used to it. So
join the other bro. Rosen is Chad Henne 2.0. Holla at your boy.
And again, reason. What have I consistently said about Rosen? Okay, I'm not saying he should be out of the league. We broke down his game for a year now, and I told you the areas in his game. There's nothing that you can build foundationally. When coaches evaluate players at that position, they look at their physical traits and they want to identify something they can build a solid foundation on. Rosen has nothing, and there are players. There are positions for those deficient, those flawed players in the league. Guess what? They're called backups. So that's what in terms of my evaluation of Rosen, going off of what he's consistently put on tape since he's been in this league. He's a backup.
Fitzpatrick has such a leg up on him because he's already been in a Chan Gailey offense. He already knows what to expect from Chan Gailey. He's already ran a Chan Gailey offense. So watch Rosen ain't beating Fitzpatrick out. And then you go to the RPO scheme, guys. Clearly, some of you haven't watched tape because the best RPO quarterback I've ever seen, EM's ever seen, and multiple professional scouts who actually get paid for this have seen
is Tua Tagovailoa.
So,
and we're not going to even get into the schematics reason. We're just going off pure talent. This kid is so head and shoulders above Rosen in terms of talent. It's crazy.
Yo, if people watched him at UCLA, which a lot of these Dolphin fans, haven't watched him beyond him being in Miami. If you watched him in UCLA, he was an average processor. He was not a strong processor. And what have I always told you, EM? What happens to average processors when they come to the NFL?
Oh, yeah,
they become bad processors because you can't be average.
Absolutely.
And what do you see? You see a lot of his interceptions and a lot of his sacks. His sacks come off holding the ball too long because he can't make the read. And his interceptions, a lot of them come off of he makes the read, but he makes it late, throws the ball late, and it's over with. Another thing he's never been good with, another reason, a thing that Tua is going to murder him in is eye manipulation. Rosen's never been known as a guy who's moving safeties and moving corners off their spots with his eyes. He doesn't have those extra intangibles that make someone great at the next level. All he was known for was slinging the rock with his arm. That's it, man. And at UCLA, come on. The guy didn't even crack. Bro, you're playing where you're playing and you don't even crack 30 touchdowns?
I know, right?
Come on, bro.
Wow.
Give me a break on that one.
Listen, before they're coming with that heat. You have You have
I guarantee you, I've watched more on Rosen because I was not a fan or high on him coming out of UCLA. I've watched more on Rosen than a lot of the people that are going to be coming at me in the comments. I'm not even worried about it. I worry about educated opinions, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know they're coming with that heat, but I live in Texas. I'm used to the heat, so bring it.
What's funny is they're going to bring the heat, but it's a moot point because by 2021 he won't even be on this team.
No.
If people want to get personal and throw stuff our way for a player they don't know, let alone someone who isn't even part of this team's future plan, knock yourself out, because that shows how naive and how narrow-sighted you are and how you aren't looking at the long term. And what's funny is I love it because I talk to some of these people and you can throw them stuff at they're the same people that come to us for how great and how in-depth and how knowledgeable our content is. But all of a sudden, that knowledgeable content is thrown out
the window when it comes to Josh Rosen.
Get out of here with that, man. You can't be selective. You cannot be selective with that kind of stuff, man. You can't take our content that fits your narrative, but then not take our content that doesn't fit your narrative. Because what is that, man? So
you said Reason. Did I hear you say 2021? This dude is not. I'm telling you now, this kid will not be on the roster, and I could be 100% wrong, but from what my gut tells me and what how things unfolded in terms of our offseason, Tua getting to the Jake Ruddick extension. Okay, this kid is not going to be on the roster come September, bro. They're going to look to move. I don't see them outright cut it. Well, you know something? I can even see them outright releasing him. I can see that. They're going to try to recoup as much as they possibly can of the investment that they gave up in terms of the second-round pick that they gave up for him, and that's just good business for them taking that approach. But I don't see. I
just want to shout out this guy in the comment, Brian Terry. You haven't been fair for analyzing Rosen, buddy. Do you know how many minutes and hours I've spent on TD's platform giving an in-depth analysis of the deficiencies in his game? Okay, so don't even go there with me, bro. I've given multiple anticipation, ball placement, eye manipulation. Just went over that.
Lack of athleticism.
Going through his progressions, going through his reads.
Reason.
Pre-snap. He can't point out and he can't notice disguised coverages. That's why he looks like a deer in headlights when they start throwing disguised coverages. And the thing that he saw pre-snap isn't what he sees post-snap. That's why that happens to him all the time, because he's not a good processor.
When I engage with those type of fans, Reason, I ask them, please articulate some area in Josh Rosen's game that's worth a further investment. You hear crickets. You can hear a church. You can hear a pin drop because they have nothing. It's all personal. And I don't know why they're so tied to this player. What has he given you? What has he done on the field? What has he given you? What production has he given you on the field to warrant this type of loyalty?
Neil,
I don't understand.
Hold on. Hey, Steve Neal, ball placement then drops from his receivers. Good analysis, Reason. Hey, Steve Neal, why don't you go look up who was third in the league for drop passes? Because last year it was Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it looked like he had a whole hell of a lot better than Josh Rosen. It wasn't.
I know, right?
Number 3 in the league in drop passes, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he still did what he did, and he still led our team in rushing.
Exactly.
That's not even close, man. You would not have got what you got from Fitzpatrick from Rosen. I mean, you don't know football if you think you would have got the same. I don't know what else to tell you.
My advice to those individuals, get over it, because this dude, the clock is ticking on him. Okay, the clock is ticking. It started.
People all of a sudden, they see he was taken at number 10, and that means something. That don't mean
Mistakes happen all the time. Teams miss on top 10 picks all day, every day. So get over it. First off, get your behind in the film room. That's the first thing you need to do. Because if you did, you would understand. You have a heightened level of understanding of why we give the evaluation of Josh Rosen, the evaluation we gave him. That's what you need to do first off. Get your behind in the film room. And that's to any of you Josh Rosen lovers out there. And come back and articulate why what you saw on film. Give us an explanation as to why you think a further investment is warranted. Please do that.
Oh, no, you know what it's going to be?
Please do that.
You know what the number one answer is? This is all they got. He's cheap. That's it. That's all they have. This guy has a QBR under 30 in his first year, and he has a QBR of like 20 in his second year, but he's cheap. Are you for real with me?
It's ridiculous, bro. Get out of here. Get out of here with that nonsense, bro. Get out of here, man.
Like, it's hilarious to me, man. Like,
you can get out of here with that foolishness, bro.
Hey, brother. You said you can tell who actually watched this film and who breaks down 3 a.m. Sports Center highlights, right? Exactly. Sports Center highlights haven't given you enough to warrant the hope or the faith you put into them. But see, that's the thing, bro. People become loyal to the player and then stop thinking about the team, bro. And I don't even understand why they're loyal to it.
It's so frustrating. I'll tell you, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Ridiculous.
You know, it's funny to me, bro. It's absolutely hilarious to me. So, all right, let's move on. Havoc, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing tonight?
Havoc, what's good, homie?
I'm great. Man, y'all need some cold water. This Josh Rosen.
No,
man, getting everybody fired up.
Listen, I've been told. Hold on a sec. You don't understand what we've been told, bro. Like, we've been told, put a paper bag over your head and stop breathing. Like, we've been actually told ridiculous stuff from Dolphin fans over a player who has
given you nothing.
So
he's giving you nothing, bro.
I've never seen people love a second round, someone they traded for a second round draft pick so much who has a QBR under 25. I've never seen the love factor. It's hilarious,
crazy, bro.
I don't know what's
it's
wrong.
Ridiculous.
You know, we're gonna get to a certain point with him. People are gonna realize Josh Rosen's what he projects to be in the league is a questionable backup. That's honestly, if you're looking at the future, that is his future, is a questionable backup. And there's a market for them. Chase Daniels are out there, questionable backup market is always full.
I just want the people in the comments to keep that same energy they got right now when the writing's on the wall 5 years down the line, and he's like a backup. He's a third string or second string out in Las Vegas or something. I want them to keep that same energy, man. That's all.
Rosen's gonna take Charlie Whitehurst's job one of these days. Just a guy out there collecting checks.
He's gonna be a high school. He's gonna be a high school coach in 8 years, bro.
He's gonna wind up the same fate. He's gonna fall. He's gonna wind up having the same fate that Deshaun Kaiser. Just got cut again.
Kaiser got killed.
That's what he's gonna be. That's what he's gonna be.
Kaiser got killed though. Kaiser got killed. Like, they threw him to the wolves. And
another guy Buddy, I was not high on him coming out of Notre Dame. A lot of people were, and I was not high on Deshaun Kaiser.
I think what raising eyebrows when he went to Green Bay and gave you absolutely, they moved off him as well.
Yeah.
So that was an ideal situation for him. Ideal.
Yeah. Well, I think essentially for the Dolphins, the real hope is that there is another stooge of a GM out there who's just very desperate and can sell his fan base or sell the owner on the idea that there's a former top 10 pick out there at quarterback that we can make a trade for, because there are always desperate GMs out there making terrible moves. We only
Harris.
There it goes.
Look. Like I said on the stream the other day, I hope they pull off another miracle trade like they got. For them to get a 7th round pick for Charles Harris, bro, you got to tip your hat to Chris Greer. So I hope the same scenario comes to fruition with this kid.
I like the bus that you had, though. I agree with everybody on the bus. We need to expand the bus a little bit more.
It's coming.
Patrick Laird, his spot is back there. There are a few guys, but if you got something else coming, I'm not going to comment on it too much. But that
don't worry.
No, we don't. You just give whoever you think should make that bus.
I'm telling you, the running back room is looking real full right now.
We got that receiver room.
Yes, and we know, probably our running back, they're going to carry about 3 guys. Maybe the 4th guy will be a special team guy. At wide receiver. It's looking like it's a little bit set until the guys hit the field, but it's looking like, Cole and Merritt, they can't put them on the practice squad. Someone else is going to snatch them up. Probably the Patriots, more than likely. So, you all talked about Tankersley a little bit. Of course, we got to get him out of here. The whole safety situation in general is murky. I'm not saying they need to get rid of a ton of guys because there's not really anybody else you can bring in at this point. Brandon Jones is not really projected to be out here starting. He's probably going to be a rotational guy, maybe a guy that can give you a little flexibility and cover the slot a little bit. But, you know, he's going to have to work out as a special teams guy. Rosen, you know, hopefully just find a sucker. Other than that, you got to release him at some point, and probably sooner rather than later if you're talking about his career project and his career projection. Because he needs to latch on with a quarterback whisperer. Yeah. Maybe, you know, Bill O'Brien can make another bad mistake and trade for him, you know?
Yeah, he's going to have to go somewhere where he's got time to start from scratch. You know what I mean? Where they scale his game down entirely, and he's got time to sit and learn and develop. But even then, physically, I just don't see any aspect of his game that you can build a solid foundation on. I just don't see it. I just don't. For him to warrant for you to put that label of franchise quarterback on him, I just don't see it.
I think when they ask what your best attribute is and they talk about your parents.
I know, right? I know, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if Josh Rosen's the guy.
Oof.
Wow.
Havoc just did him dirty. I love it.
Wow.
Hey, look, we're trying to build a champion out here. So we gotta, you know, we don't have time for tap dancing.
Yeah,
bro, Havoc just went mob deep on him, bro.
Wow.
It's true, man. I mean, like, I don't know if you watched him at UCLA, Havoc, but when some people, like, even when Matt Valdovinos, when I had him on a couple of shows ago, that threw me back when he said he was the highest graded crop. Like, what? Me and EM talked about it. We're like, yo, we don't. That was one thing we emphatically disagreed with. There's a couple things with Matt that, you know, we didn't see eye to eye with, but it is what it is, right? That's just going to happen. Everyone has their own opinions and how they see things. But, I was, you know what, Havoc, when he was sliding in that draft and there was talk of him going in the top 10, I was not surprised by Josh Rosen because I watched a lot of him at UCLA, and he did not scream a top 10 franchise quarterback to me from anything I saw at UCLA. Now that I've seen some of his film from high school when he was going up against Tua, I look, okay, he looked like men amongst boys, but I didn't see that when he took that next level step. And it looks like I said, to me at UCLA, he was an average processor. He did a lot of his mean stuff over the middle with receivers that were manufacturing space. And to me, I just, you know, I don't see this guy ideal throwing in the tight windows. I just don't see it. I don't see great footwork even for a guy who, you know, he played tennis growing up, so he should have better. It's decent, but it's not where it should be right now at this level. I just don't, you know, I see a guy who he slows on his reads, he's slow on his progressions, and it leads to late throws. And that's a big no-no in the NFL.
Go put that Dallas tape on when he almost got Allen Hurns decapitated. Go put that Dallas tape on.
And the only reason I'm saying keep Ruddock over Rosen is because I want that mentality out, man. I don't want that around Tua. I don't want another guy. Yo, you know when Tua walking in that room, walking in the room, I don't care. We're all human beings. There is going to be a little bit of bitterness, even if he doesn't know it. Because as soon as that thing was made, Rosen knew, oh my God, here we go again.
Absolutely.
That's just human nature. So I don't want that around my young.
I don't want that. I agree 100%.
Yeah, at a certain point, they're gonna have to get Rosen out here just to clear the vibes up.
Yeah, because I don't think you can convince Rosen he's not a starter. Whereas a guy like Jake Ruddock, he's accepted the role that he's a third or second stringer. So I don't want that attitude, and I'm cool with that.
I don't want that.
Yeah, no, Rosen's gonna accept that he's not a starter in the NFL when he's a starter in Canada. Yeah. You know, as long as he's hanging around the NFL, he's gonna always think he's got a shot. Because somebody's always going to be able to sell he was a top 10 pick card.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
he's going to ride that card to a 10-year career.
But you look at the Blaine Gabberts of the world. Blaine Gabbert was selected 8th overall the year he came out. He's still in the league. A backup. And Gabbert, in terms of talent, this kid was way more talented than what Josh Rosen is. Ever will be. Gabbert, what physical talent wasn't Gabbert's issue. Okay? But he's in the league. He's put together a 10-year career. he's been in the league as a what? Backup. Yeah. Exactly. But he humbled himself. He humbled himself, accepted his role. If Rosen takes that same approach, he'll have a role in the NFL.
Dude, and I'd rather
be a backup capacity.
Why not do him the favor and send him to somewhere where he can compete? Send him to Jacksonville where he can compete with Gardner Minshew.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a good battle that Rosen could be in. Go give him a chance to compete somewhere else, because at the end of the day, we did exactly what Arizona did. We went and got another quarterback. So instead of doing the kid dirty and making him just sit there, go give him a chance somewhere he has a real opportunity to compete for that top spot, because I don't think he's going to beat out Fitzpatrick or Tua. And to a sense, I feel bad for the kid. The kid,
and again, all last year when we was on TD's platform and we was telling him, along with all of these other Josh Rosen loyalists, stop listening to what Flores is telling you, okay, in terms of Josh Rosen's potential, him being a potential long-term solution at that position. This kid can't get on the field. They've been playing a PR game with this kid all year, okay? They told you what he said consistently throughout last year was that, okay, and if you remember what the beat writers were saying early on in camp, just Rosen's evaluation of him, he can't see, he's just not fat, he's not seeing the field, he's not seeing the play develop fast enough. He has trouble, that's his biggest deficiency, is his ability to process information fast enough. And that was consistent throughout training camp last year. So Flores, over the course of the year, okay, when they put him back on the bench, right? And because they kept asking him about Josh Rosen, what about Josh? What about Josh? Well, he's improving. He's improving more. He's improving, gradually, day by day. Every practice he gets better. But yet this kid can't even get on the field.
Yeah,
he can't get on the field
anytime soon.
He couldn't get on the field in a year when they were hiring dudes off Lowe's, bro. Out of Lowe's, they were doing. Flores went shopping in Lowe's, saw a dude stocking shelves, saw him and said, "You look like you athletic. Yeah, you look like you athletic. Come try out on Friday." And they started him on Sunday. And when a team is taking that approach,
they're good guys from the UPS store.
Exactly. So what does that tell you?
Oh man!
Our game with this kid all year. They saw what they had, and they're like, "Damn, that's why." And again, and then for them to select Tua 5th overall, bro. Y'all need to stop. The fan base that's loyal to this kid, y'all need to stop. It's done. It's his bus ticket. I'll be printing that ticket off real soon. I promise you. He's not going to be on this roster, bro.
That ticket was printed last year. Him and Tankersley, that ticket, they were just waiting to hit the print button. One day, this going to call me. Come to the Epson. Tankersley, hey.
Yeah, they're going to call it.
The Greyhounds. The Greyhounds gassed up, bro.
Josh Rosen, can I meet you in personnel at 3 o'clock, please? It's coming.
With Rosen, though, that sounds like a Coughlin desperation. We need another quarterback in the room to push Minshew type move. Maybe we'll break you off with the 6th or 7th, and we'll take him off your hands.
Absolutely. Send him there. Send him anywhere. I just want him out. I want that. I don't want that potential cancer developing in my quarterback room. I want him out. I want him gone.
Send him to a place. Send him to a place where he can have a chance to legitimately compete. Because, I think he can actually compete with Minshew. I don't think Minshew is as big of a lock as people think he is, or else you wouldn't see everyone already mocking Trevor Lawrence to the next year.
I agree.
So give Rosen the chance to go. And it's only it's not even you're not even doing dirty with the drive. You're helping him out with the drive because they ain't even that far of a drive. Give him a chance.
Yeah. You keep that apartment. You keep that crib. Yeah, you're right.
What's up, ball game?
Right. Ball game, what's good?
I
hear y'all going back and forth with the people in the chat. I don't understand why y'all told me not to let people get you wound up, and then y'all go and doing the exact same thing that y'all told me not to do. I don't get it, right? People gonna have their opinions. Y'all know without a shadow of a doubt, Josh, my dude. I got a relationship with him. But at the end of the day, if he ain't a part of the long range plan for the team, then it is what it is. But no one here can argue the point that he's had by far, excuse my language, the shittiest introduction as a quarterback into the NFL. Bar none. Anybody that knows it, anybody that talks about it has said that. That's the first thing that comes out of their mouth.
Dave Carr.
Has Josh done anything to help this situation? Absolutely nothing. So on that, I can only go so far in defending him. Everything else that happens with him from this point forward is on him. Up to this point, though, it's validated. You can look at the situations. He's had arguably the worst 2 offensive lines in NFL history starting in front of him as a young quarterback. The dude just turned 23 years old. That's young. That's extremely young still to be dealing with all of this, which is why I've always said young guys need to sit. But nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to give them that opportunity to develop past what they've seen in college, because even in college, when they come to the NFL, the game is almost 10 times faster. And people want to rush these kids out there so fast, so have them ready right out the gate, and then they fail, then everybody want to call them a bust, shoot them up with holes, and then not want to come back behind and do the patchwork. Well, why did Miami Dolphins be the ones to do the patchwork a little bit?
But ball game,
get him out of there. Because we know he's not the long range plan. We get that. That's why they drafted Tua. But you're gonna have somebody behind Tua also. So until Tua's ready, why not have them both in there, build them up, trade them off, and then be done with it? Because if he was gonna be gone, I think he already would be gone by now.
No. Why?
Why not?
They didn't know their situation. They didn't know they was gonna be able to 100% draft Tua in this draft.
You know that, man. Come on, man.
They
played that masterfully, bro. But we've been talking about this. You even yourself, long before they even started building draft boards, bro. You and Reason was already talking about who they should go get. Everybody else in the nation knew that Tua was a target. The Dolphins are the only one threw out smoke screens and all the other type of stuff, but behind the scenes and all the research we've done, hell, even I knew it. I had to come on board with the concept that he was going to be the first pick.
We knew who they liked. We knew who they were high on and who they preferred, but it wasn't set in stone that they were going to be able to get this kid. Somebody could have given up their whole draft and moved The only thing changed for us in terms of it being a gain and we got him was the fact that he got hurt. Had he not got hurt, he'd be Joe Burrow at number 1, and we'd be getting Joe Burrow. Well, again,
because if he hadn't got hurt, he was going number 1. He was by far the best quarterback in the league. I mean,
But look, in terms of moving off of Josh Rosen before their whole draft process played out, no, the smart move was to keep him and secure your quarterback, whether that'll be in Burrow or Tua or whoever they deem worthy. Okay, get him 100%, select him, and then you move off of him at some point in time later on in the year.
But I said that months ago, and everybody was like, "No, he gone." But I'm thinking to myself, the dude's so cheap. Listen, the dude is so cheap right now on our salary that it doesn't even matter him being on the roster.
No, bro, roster spots are too valuable.
All our quarterbacks.
Roster spots are too valuable.
All of them are.
Roster spots are too valuable. And the
fact is the highest, right? The fact is the highest at $10 million a year.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm here. I'm listening.
100%. If you recall, back in September or October, when they extended Jake Rudder, okay, in our private conversation, who were the ones that was telling y'all that's the nail in the coffin to Josh Rosen's status on this roster? Did we not highlight that?
You said it, but it still got to play out, bro.
But again, and I told you again, moving off of Josh Rosen prior to the draft process was not smart. Was not a smart move. Okay, because it's too much uncertainty about the players you could potentially pick in a draft. It's too much uncertainty. So they got Tua, they extended Jake Rudder. Okay, in my opinion, they got your future backup. Okay, you got to the draft process. You were able to secure Tua's draft rights. Now moving into OTAs, moving into training camp. Now is the time you move off of him.
So let me ask you a question.
Ball game.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Doesn't trading him to a team like Jacksonville just to I think he can compete with a player like Gardner Minshew. Doesn't that make more sense than putting him in a room where again you're actually putting him in the room? They didn't keep him in the room after they got Murray, but putting him in the room now with you just drafted someone at 5 instead of putting him in a room where the writing is in the wall. Don't you think putting him into a situation like a Jacksonville where, you've seen it, I'm sure, the early mocks, people are giving Trevor Lawrence to them. Isn't like Rosen, I think, has more of a chance at beating out Minshew than he would beating out Patrick or Tua right now.
Yeah, exactly. I think all of those are great options in terms of getting him.
The fair thing to do to him, like, wouldn't that be the fair? Give him.
I don't know. Is the NFL? But we're talking fair. But is the NFL really fair?
Me personally,
I mean, you spent a 2 to get him. Wouldn't you? Listen, let's be realistic for a second, right? At the end of the day, as a fan, I would love nothing more than in the second year of rebuild for us to be in the playoffs, going deep to the conference championship. You know what I'm saying? That'd be the cherry on top of a shitty 2020 for me right now at this point, right? Every fan in the nation would love to see that. But is that realistic? Probably not, right?
Depends on who you ask.
No, probably not. Let's be honest, man. A lot of teams got better. Not too many teams got worse, right? So we're going to have to do exactly what we've been doing. Stay the course. Find out what you truly got. We had an influx of nothing but youth across this whole roster with short-term contracts given to veterans to train up those guys, right? So in the same sense, across the board, what does it do us this year not to put him out there, see what he does? Because we ain't losing no ground. The offensive line still got to do what they got to do. Defensive still got to come together. You know what I'm saying? After week 6, week 7, when we know Fitzpatrick did whatever he did.
I'm telling you,
it's the same process, bro. Fitz ain't gonna finish the season. Josh gonna get a couple games, and then Tua gonna come in late in the season when it's all said and done. That's gonna be the process. We're gonna see all 3 quarterbacks possibly. So it is what it is. And Jake Ruddock ain't gonna see the field. I'm sorry, it just won't happen.
So they're gonna carry 4 quarterbacks on the active roster. You
send Jake Ruddock gonna be on the practice squad.
No, you can't do that no more.
Well, then you lose him then. But I'm telling you right now, between those two, they need to get Josh stock up. You got to get something back for him. You got to.
Yep.
You have to.
It seems like Rosen's out of options right now. I mean, he doesn't have a future in Miami right now. So right now, we're
you got to get something for him. You got to get something that you feel is worth what his potential is. They're saying potentially. Yes, he has processing issues, but at the same time, them dudes have said it over and over again. O'Shea didn't do the dude no favors, man. O'Shea spent his time with Ryan Fitzpatrick, the veteran. He didn't do shit. He didn't do shit for the backups.
Dude, he killed
so there he is again with a bad situation, and you're expecting a kid. He's a kid.
Yeah, we've talked about
man.
One of the main things.
Well, it is what it is, bro. Hey, listen.
One of the main things for quarterbacks at the next level too, when you get past all the intangibles and the physical traits, is confidence. And the way Arizona did it, it was already shot when it came here. And then when O'Shea put it 6 feet in the ground.
Yeah, but listen. What about the player taking accountability for his own actions, controlling what you can control? You can't control all of these other moving parts around you. Just control what you can control and step your game up. You put some better film out there.
I'm not at any point disputing any of that, bro.
Give your organization a reason to want to hang on to you. Give your organization a reason to not pick a quarterback in the top 5 in the 2020 draft.
Let me ask you a straightforward, real deal question, right? So Fitzpatrick's been in the league now how long? 16 years? Mm-hmm. So do you honestly, in your opinion, of how you watch football and how you evaluate these players, do you believe without those 16 years of experience and Ryan Fitzpatrick being who he has been throughout his career, do you believe he would have had the success he had he been Josh in the 2 years that Josh been in the league?
Well, okay.
You're talking 16 years of a dude running around doing what the hell he want to do on the field, running, gunning, doing all of that with the law. He ain't had the best O-lines now. So give it to me, like real talk. We can't compare the two. That's like apples and oranges, really.
Listen. Ryan Fitzpatrick, when he came into this league, he immediately had a level of success in this league. Immediately from a rookie.
But where was he at?
No, I'm not saying he was in. I think Buffalo drafted him.
Established teams with decent, above average offensive lines, right?
Bro, I'm not. Well, again, I'm not looking at the depth chart of 16 years ago or what Buffalo had on their roster at that point when they drafted him. But what I do know is this kid, Ryan Fitzpatrick, has flashed. He has shown something that you can build again. Back to what I said. That you can build a foundation off of. It's the reason why these teams have consistently taken chances on Ryan Fitzpatrick throughout his career. He just hasn't been, he can't get over that. He just hasn't been as consistent as these other top tier quarterbacks. But he has shown enough to warrant investment. Josh Rosen is giving you nothing. From UCLA to now, actually, you can make a case that he's gotten worse. So he's giving you nothing to warrant a further investment, bro. Not at a franchise level quarterback capacity.
You're right.
So again,
you're right. I just don't fathom. I can't. Me as a coach, me as a football enthusiast, me as someone that loves this game, I can't fathom how anyone can have any level of measured success having had 6 offensive coordinators in 4 years.
Tua had 3 and 3.
I don't see it, especially as a quarterback. You tell me one guy that's endured that much, and I'm gonna shut up forever.
This will be Tua's 4th.
Tua had 3 out of Alabama.
Yeah, he had 3 at Alabama.
The only thing they did, listen, all they did at Alabama was basically go away from the run game and let him do what he does naturally when he was as a quarterback. They introduced it. That ain't hard it ain't hard in college. I'm talking in the pro too, though. Okay, but take away the UCLA stuff because that was a shit show.
I think just to put
UCLA was a shit show. Let's say that, all right?
Yeah.
But even in NFL, we can all agree that the game in itself, is way different for anyone, especially for a quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah. I think
if you got Hurns up front protecting you, and your processing and trying to learn at the NFL level is already hampered a bit.
But here's my argument with Josh Rosen.
Hold on a sec, guys. Havoc, you got anything else you want to add? Just because I got some other people I want to bring on with you.
Yeah, man. Just appreciate y'all bringing me on, and just put a little cold water on the Josh Rosen thing. Just put a little cold water. And look, he's had a tough go on it. His first 2 years in the league, not put in the great position, but he's also not a great talent at quarterback and not a guy that a franchise is really going to lean on to be their guy. The best thing for everybody is for another team to maybe give him a shot at something. And that's really it. Otherwise, we're going to have to let him go and he's going to have to make his way. Just put a little cold water on the situation. But, we don't need to trash him on the way out. He showed up. He's a good dude. Didn't work out. It happens.
Dude, I said, the reason why I want him to go to a place like Jacksonville where he can actually compete with Minshew and the writing isn't on the wall is because I legitimately feel bad for how dirty the kid's been done 2 years in a row where he's been brought in and then the next year the team's drafted a quarterback. Now, whether that's on him or whether that's on the coaching staff, that's not here. That's a tough situation for any quarterback, man. Yep. And that's a tough situation for any human being. Not just the outside of the player. That's a tough situation for any human being because outside of your confidence in terms of your talent, you start getting the feeling that no one else has confidence in you around you. That's a lot to weigh on the young guy.
But again, I just don't see how the kid was done dirty. He was given an opportunity. He didn't pick the ball up and run with it. Period. Let's stop doing him dirty. That's realizing from a franchise standpoint.
I'm talking about how the situation unfolded. You don't see. You haven't seen really a guy get drafted in 2 years in a row, go to 2 different teams, and then after each year, they draft a new quarterback. You haven't really seen that before. Yeah. And I'm just saying, the way the cookie crumbled.
Yeah. You're right. I get it.
Yeah, they put him in a David Carr, Deshaun Kaiser type of situation.
I think you muted. Havoc, we're gonna get on going. Thanks for coming on again, brother.
That's like good job, Havoc. Hey, that's like me telling you to go down to the Y, EM, and pick your team, and then you go down there and pick your team for a tournament, and the only people left is Mitch's. Come on, man. How you gonna win? Come on, man. You ain't gonna have much success, baby. You got to do it all. And you're gonna fail a little bit. It is what it is. I'm just trying to bring some laughter into it. Let's move on from that. Hey, you did say something earlier that I didn't agree with, though.
What's that?
Jerome Baker gonna be here, baby.
No, well,
he don't fit. Listen, he don't fit. He ain't supposed to fit. Jerome Baker is gonna be here. Flores likes Jerome Baker, bro, like a lot. They gonna find a role for Jerome, bro.
And you know something, and you know something about that, you might be right. I like I said, I could be wrong, but he just won't warrant the snap count that he.
No. He definitely won't have the snap count he had last year. No, definitely not with who we brought in.
I just said find another role for him, but what I said was now with them selecting Gruber Hill, he can provide. He's a much better version of Jerome Baker, much better. So that's why I said.
You know what? You know what I envision? If it were me and going and getting a guy like Gruger Hill, I envision on third down and longs having Gruger Hill and Jerome Baker in a package together.
I agree.
That's as athletic as it gets at the linebacker spot, and then you can lock up whatever from that.
I agree.
And I'll back that up by saying,
I agree.
What's going on, Sharif?
Sharif, we can't hear you, brother.
What's good?
Yeah, you got to speak a little louder into your mic, brother.
hey, how about now? How's it going?
Still kind of low, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I was saying, man, I'll back that up by saying that Flores gave a guy he didn't draft, Mike linebacker, responsibilities. That's a very thick book. I don't know if you guys remember Zach Thomas had like 7 or 8 very thick books, and that was other teams' offenses really. And so when you have a coach he didn't draft Baker, and he puts the responsibility of a very thick book at Mike linebacker, that guy's not going anywhere. I'm sorry to bring.
But that's also
they had nobody else. They had
what was the alternative position? That's what the problem.
What was the alternative?
That's why we love Flores. He will give you the opportunity. He will also give you the opportunity if he did not draft you. Now it's up to you. That's what I love about Flores and Shula. It's up to you. Now you have to take it and fly with it. Did he do it? No. Now we can say the same thing about the run game. The run game didn't succeed because of the O-line. I could say the same thing about Baker shooting the gap and not getting a complete sack or getting there at all. It's because of the D-line not opening up the C gap or the A gap. So I can say the same thing on both sides. But my point is this. If I give reason the production, and I give reason the CEO of this entire channel, but then I turn around next year and I just want to reclaim all those responsibilities I give, I'm not sure if Ball Game and EM can handle the production side and the video side of this channel. Why am I just going to yuck all of those responsibilities away from you?
But that's the point. Jerome Baker has proven that he can handle it. That's what I'm saying. That's why you bring in Kyle Van Noy. That's why you bring in those, because he didn't. That's the point, Sharif. He couldn't handle it. He could not. He was too inconsistent, bro.
But I gave you the reasons why. I gave you the reasons why Ballage couldn't even find the hole.
No.
I used 2 analogies. Ballage couldn't even find the hole because of the O-line was garbage.
No, we're talking about Baker. We're talking about Jerome Baker.
But that's what I'm saying. It's on both lines.
No,
but that's been Ballage's game since college. He hasn't had the vision to find gaps like that. That's been his game. That's why EM
calls him a downhill runner.
Yeah, that's why EM calls him a one-cut downhill runner, because that's not his game. He's not
3.2 yards a carry behind that line. Everyone at 3.2, 3.4 yards a carry. You could look and see it. My point is this: both lines, players who had their positions couldn't complete their task properly. This time and this year, with the line he has in the front of him, Benito Jones, you have Raekwon Davis, you have a potential Ogba, and you have a Lawson on third down.
Yeah, but where are you putting him? You're not taking Van Noy or Raekwon McMillan out for Jerome Baker.
Exactly.
So now my question to you, EM, reason in ball game is, with those 5 guys ahead of him, instead of the jokers we had last year, will he shoot the gap properly? Will he actually be able to complete his task?
Dude, I don't think he's going to get a chance, because you saw how ball game Van Ginkel, how ball
You guys think
games
he
boy
won't
Van
compete?
Ginkel. No, because we think ball games boy Van Ginkel. You saw how he started coming through. They're going to try and get him more snaps. They're going to try and get Beagle more snaps. And Baker will fall down.
Sharif,
Okay.
Start with Baker's athletic profile. Start there. Okay. He's too
I
small.
mentioned it last night with holding tight ends. He's the fastest tight end we have.
But again, bro,
him because we needed to defend tight ends. No, I'm just saying his profile is based on him holding tight ends in a 4-3 scheme. You're
but
right.
again, no. Well, Ballgame might be right. I could be in term. Listen, I never said, I mean, I would look to trade him because I don't think he's in a long term. He's not a long term solution. He's not in long term plans. But again, my initial point was that just find a different role for him. Now he could do that ball game scenario with him and Gruber Hill as like your nickel and dime linebackers. Oh, absolutely, they can do that all day. That's tons of athleticism. I mean, that's ideal. But again, I just said with the additions of Kyle Van Noy, okay, and I think Beagle will transition primarily to the interior. I even think Andrew Van Ginkel. I think he'll be deployed more like Kyle Van Noy. You'll see him. You'll see him.
That's what I believe they brought him. They brought Van Noy in to train up.
Yeah.
Around
the middle, the edge on the.
Exactly on the interior as well. But again, where you gonna find snap for Jerome Baker?
You guys think someone's going to take those thick books away from Jerome Baker? Who's potentially going to take this? That's a lot of plays you got to study to be Mike Lang.
I'm telling you right now.
He knows the system already.
Exactly. Kyle Van Noy will be starting, okay?
Yeah, but Kyle Van Noy had a long-term plan. That's the whole point, too, though, right? You got a guy, you got a guy that proved to you that can do multiple different things. Because he didn't start out at the Mike. He probably wouldn't even went there if Raekwon hadn't got hurt. So, his flexibility, man, alone, bro, makes him a keeper.
Who was that?
Baker.
Oh, well, again. All he
got to do is what? Put on 8 pounds? 10 pounds?
Bro, again, how good is Jerome Baker in hand placement? Hand placement is paramount in this scheme, bro. Yeah, and he's terrible in that regard. He's terrible. You don't have the functional strength to do that.
And in run support. And it's a heavy run support.
That's to be learned, man. You can teach all that stuff.
It's the reason why teams have different schemes, different techniques within their schemes. Everybody can do.
You already know I know that. So
again.
Get in. Thank you.
I'm just telling you, I had guys. Hey, I had kids that I coached that weren't prototypical at the positions, but when they were coached up, what they had was that it. They had the desire to be better and to prove people wrong, and you can't buy that. You can't go out and find that. You can go out and find a prototypical guy, and he still not give you what you need. But you can go. You can get. There's a persistent reason. There's a specific reason why mutts live longer than pedigrees. Some guys just gonna stick. Some guys just gonna be around, bro.
Well, it won't be Jerome Baker.
Okay.
Promise you that.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll see. Jerome Baker. And the fact that they extended Vince Beagle as well. They extended him, and I'm telling you, he will transition because he's a natural middle linebacker. Vince Beagle is, and they extended him. He will transition to the full, primarily on the interior.
What they gave Vince Beagle? What they gave him? 1 year, 2 year?
2 years.
That's not enough.
It won't be Jerome Baker. I can promise you that.
We'll see. We'll have this conversation later down the line. We'll have this conversation later down the line. It's all good. Yes, sir.
Could you just pull your mic away from your mouth a little bit?
Yeah. Does that mean with the?
Oh, now you're no. You're just like it was just close to your mouth, so it was loud.
Okay.
But
we'll have this conversation.
Now it's perfect.
Oh, you already know ball game.
What's going on, Larry?
Hey guys.
Welcome to the
fun conversation tonight, huh?
Yeah.
While you're on Baker, I was thinking about that. But you know who might be a more threat to Baker than the other linebackers? It might be Brandon Jones, because he might be a more versatile version of Baker from the strong safety.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So, I'm just thinking, that he might be more of a – if you're trying to find a role for Baker, the role he would probably niche out is what Brandon Jones would bring. Plus, Brandon Jones is a legitimate safety. So it might be Jones that's going to be the problem with Baker getting, as well as the other linebackers. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah, but Baker hasn't shown enough for me to warrant keeping him over a Vince Beagle or Andrew Van Ginkel, who really impressed me last year. He has one trait that tells you he could be special.
Ball game called him.
Larry.
Yeah,
Larry.
that one trait. He's
Larry.
always around the football. He's always around the football.
Ball
Larry.
game called that one.
Larry. So you telling me the guy that played 97.6% of all the defensive snaps out of position and playing on a role that was never his in the first place showed you nothing?
Well, he shows me that he's not for the system. I'm not saying Baker is a bad player. Absolutely not. But he's not for this system. Okay? Not for this system.
They're gonna find
And this PFF shows it. You know, this one time I agree 100% with the PFF.
I don't trust everything PFF say, man.
And ball
neither do I. They have a valid point.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, he's coming into a contract year as well. He gonna want to get paid. He's coming into a contract year, bro.
By the way, guys, I'm wearing my favorite shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not arguing. I'm just explaining why I'm right.
Exactly. That was us earlier.
Yeah, my niece gave it to me because me and my sister always explain why we're right about things.
So that's the only one you disagree with was Baker and Josh Rosen.
And I don't necessarily even disagree with Josh, man. Josh just got to figure it out. He got to do for himself. So at this point right now, I don't think they owe him anything, and I'm good with that. If they cut him, I don't see them cutting him. But whatever happens to him, it's on him at this point. And we've had that conversation, so it is what it is.
You know why I don't think they'd cut him 2-ball game?
Yeah,
I think they were. From what I heard, they are legitimate. Like they are willing to talk to teams, but they're not willing to talk to New England about them.
Right, and that's what was it.
Worried about a team like New England scooping.
Bill called his agent twice. Well, the organization called his agent twice already.
Yeah, man.
Behind the scenes, so I know that those calls are made.
Hey, man, remember we were out here telling everyone that, from what we understood, O'Shea was one of the people when he came over here. Was a lot of that New England staff advocating for Josh because the New England Patriots were really high on him in that draft.
But you know what? The reason why it's not fearful of what Josh Rosen could turn out to potentially be. But it could be they're trying to drive the price up because New England has shown the most interest in him. That's smart business right there. Yeah. You're negotiating with a team that's showing the most interest.
They're more worried about Belichick and
Belichick.
They understood by the guys. I think they understood by O'Shea and these guys coming from New England. I think they understood the infatuation these guys had for Josh in the draft, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know if we want to give them that guy," because from what I've heard, this is just strictly based off what I heard. The thought process in that New England room was he would be the easiest transition for what they were doing from Tom Brady because his game he's just primarily a pocket passer. And I'm just telling you, this is
guys, let me get my 2 cents in. Okay, first of all, I would not be surprised. You guys are arguing you hate Rose. That's fine. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
I hate his tape.
He's going to get his chance one or the other. Now, the problem I have with Rosen is I think he's one of those dying breed quarterbacks that lack mobility. That's very difficult to succeed in this league. And the one team that could help him succeed in this league, Reason hit it right on the nose, is the Patriots because they've been doing it for years with Tom Brady. He's not exactly the most mobile of quarterbacks.
Real quick. You say that. Y'all say that would be the spot, the perfect spot for him, okay? You're talking about going to a system, okay? A rhythm, timing-based, quick, getting the ball out of your hand system that they deploy for the last 20 years, okay? And these are the errors that we've been highlighted about in Rosen's game that he's the worst in.
Oh, I don't think
I think
if New England grabbed him, you wouldn't see him for at least a year or two.
Right. I think plus, New England has an offensive line.
He'd have been Garoppolo, bro. They do it right.
Exactly. And
everybody else has done it wrong. You rushing these young guys. The Patriots wouldn't have done that. They would have sat him on the shelf, sat him behind Tom, and let him learn. That's all it would have done. He'd have been Garoppolo.
Green Bay.
2.0.
Okay.
That's what they would have. And I still,
we don't know. But I'm just saying.
I still think if
There's
they
a-
got Rosen
in my
tomorrow,
mind, I'm sorry.
I think if they still got Rosen tomorrow ball game, I think they would still ride out Stidham for at least a year.
Yeah.
And Rosen would learn, man, and that's what it would do, man. But yeah, go ahead, Billy.
But that'd be the best thing for him, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
think-
agree.
I mean,
That's
I-
why I'm
I
saying the
think at this
Patriots would
stage-
be an ideal spot for it because they have an offensive line that has been dealing with an immobile quarterback for the last 10 years. Okay. There's very few teams that have that. Like I said, it's a
Saints.
dying breed quarterback. Yeah,
Saints
Saints
like
with
that.
Drew Brees. Another. Oh, now who knows? Now that they waived Larry Warford and relying on rookies now, they're taking a chance there. But
Man, that just means my dude get a shot now at starting Derek Kelly.
Winston.
No, Derek Kelly. He'll be the left. He probably gonna wind up being right tackle for them, starting right tackle for them from Quincy, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody don't even know about him, but he gonna be watch. He gonna be a stud for the years to come. They signed him off the practice squad last year, and he started he played the last 6 games for them in a reserve role. He suited up and whatnot, but he gonna be so.
By the way, guys, for the bus candidate, what about Chandler Cox?
Fullback? I don't know.
There's a spread out. I don't know too many spread offenses that utilize a fullback.
He can
But
block
you know
at
what,
tight
though?
end too, though, right?
But he could transition to tight end. But Chan Gailey does. If they're going to this power scheme, they're going to implement a lot of
There'll be a lot of eyes, strong eye, weak eye, all of that.
weak eye, all of that. So I know I think he's safe for this year.
You know what the problem with Cox was last year? O'Shea's lack of ability to employ him. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only issue. A lot of the issues with that offense were right there at the feet of Chop and Shea. So,
Yeah.
I think Tankersley. If he's healthy, if he's healthy, I think Tankersley gonna have a job, bro. Like,
training camp. Remember, before he got hurt, for some reason he had the psychological problem, was not playing well. All of a sudden, remember that? We can't forget that. Now, if we got the Tankers second year,
I think that was a schematic issue more than anything. With
hopefully that's what it was.
Zone base. With that,
because
at that time,
he's not a zone guy.
He's not. He's a press man.
And then we was a zone. Yeah, we was a zone. Trying to implement that zone foolishness, and he was lost out there. You could tell. You could tell in the way. So
hopefully you guys are right, because he played that year before. Add him to this group. My God, we got a secondary. Be almost impossible.
Oh man, bro, that's what I'm saying. If he returns to 2017 form, I'm telling you, bro, he's head and shoulders better because he got first round talent all day. You know what I mean? And we could all agree we was just in the wrong scheme.
Yeah.
So I think this scheme,
and he can play free safety.
Exactly. I can definitely see.
Good point.
Flores hanging on to
because
him.
my concern is, my concern about the safety, that we don't have a true old-fashioned free safety.
He there.
He
on the roster. He just got to stay healthy. If Tankersley can stay healthy, Tankersley can fill that problem. He can fill that role easily.
And you know how Flores / Bill Belichick love converting quarterbacks to safety spots.
Yeah,
they built a dynasty doing that. So
he played free safety in high school for 2 years before he actually played corner his last year, his senior year, and then when in college, you know what I mean? They brought him in as a corner / free safety, but he played predominantly on the boundary. But he can play it. He played it well. Right. He got recruited. That was the whole point.
Well, I have a terrible memory. I don't know how his tackling was, because at free safety you have to be a good tackler. I don't remember how his tackling was.
Tankersley was a beast.
He was sound.
He was a beast.
Sound tackler,
bro. Definitely better than Bobby McCain.
Oh yeah, for sure. Bobby McCain to me has always
going to the bus now, huh?
Listen, Bobby McCain has always been a weak link to me. He was able to secure the contract he secured because he was surrounded by guys that could play on the boundary, and he did an exceptional job for one season down there in the nickelback spot. And he definitely locked that position up for us. But aside from that, Bobby, he can't play on the boundary. He definitely ain't a free safety. So you're a one-trick pony. You got to go.
He was, in my mind, he was that best and average quarterback slot and not worth the contract we gave him.
Hold on. Not to his credit, at that slot position, though.
No.
He was rated. Listen, he was ranked number 3 that year in the NFL, bro. Like he was a number 3 ranked guy, man, for efficiency.
Maybe I have a tough standard. I just don't remember.
That's where we part ways. That's where we part. And again, ball game. Look at the system. We were in a zone-based system.
I don't like him because he can't do anything else.
Yeah.
That's my reason. That's my thing.
It's not a Forrest guy. Long range.
I don't like him because he can't do anything above average or above. He's a substandard player, is what he is.
Well, I'm not going to go that far.
I am
not substandard. Average, I'll go there. That time
substandard, bro.
Yeah. Well, average players mean that you need an upgrade.
I can think of other guys. I can think of other teams that don't have guys as good as him in the nickel position.
Hey, maybe that tells us how much talent we're getting.
Jacksonville.
You got that one.
What? Do I keep going? Cleveland.
I don't have to keep going. That just tells us how much better we got.
Do you want some more?
I gotta pull.
Here you go. Hey, Bobby McCain will leave us and go there and start like immediately as a nickel. Yeah. As a nickel, primary nickel. Yes, he would.
Put him out there. But it don't matter about him start. But how well is he gonna play? That's the point.
The point of the matter is he's an upgrade from what they have currently right now. Is what I'm saying.
Ball game.
Bro.
You could go to Jacksonville and compete for a starting spot right now.
No, I can't. No, my knee's too bad, bro.
No, you're tricky. You'll definitely.
3 years ago, yeah. 3 years ago, yeah, but not now. Not now.
Anything else you want to say, Larry, before we get to Dwayne?
No. Thank you, guys.
My sons can walk on though.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
Okay,
there you go. There you go.
All right, have a good one, Larry.
Who else?
Man.
I like the fact that, but like, really, do we? Okay, so Warford, right? 28-year-old dude, right?
Give him 2 years.
2 years, but how much do you want to retard the growth process of these young guys?
Of who though?
Well, that's what I'm asking because where
Kinley's naturally a left guard, right? And then
where would you plug him?
And then I'm gonna have Kinley learn behind Eric Flowers, and my whole thing is Jesse Davis. Am I gonna worry about Jesse Davis if I'm getting a guy who's coming off 3 straight Pro Bowls at right guard? No, and like I was saying, Paul, it seems like they're giving the leg up already to Hunt at right tackle, and I would much rather him alongside a veteran presence like Warford, just like I would much rather Austin Jackson alongside a veteran presence like Eric Flowers,
so
Kinley being that right guard or Jesse Davis being that right guard.
So they're doing that, then that means that Dieter's getting moved inside then even further, right?
That's what the word is now that he's getting.
Okay, because I really don't have to be honest with you, I don't have no loyalty to any of them cats other than the fact that Dieter, I feel, without a shadow of doubt.
He played center in college too a little bit, didn't he?
Exactly.
Should have been. That's what he should have played. For me, that's what he should have played last year. And Kilgore should have kicked the guard.
Yeah.
But at this point now, if you're telling me that Dieter's not going to sacrifice and lose any reps and growth for bringing in Warford, then okay, I'm good with it. Because that guy still has huge upside to me. He's just not a guard.
Yeah.
He can play. I believe he can be a solid fixture for us for years to come at center.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? But the two monsters that you're gonna have to have 2 monsters inside next to him for that to work.
And you got Flowers and you got Wolford. Potentially.
Well, but I don't know, man.
2 proven guys.
I know, but do you really feel they will pull the trigger though?
Why would they? You get a pilot for $8 to $10 million, bro. You got that surplus of cap space that you created with the Albert Wilson restructure. Okay, you got the money. Why not build why not make a strength stronger? Why not get stronger at that position?
But you're only gonna be stronger for 2 years, and then you're gonna be filling that.
Yeah,
so why not just take the fact that you just put these draft picks on development? Because we still listen. I get it, right? But your mindset is let's get good right now so we can compete now. But I don't think that's what they're thinking. I think they're thinking 3-year window, build our young guys, give them all the experience they need. Then next year, that'll be a second year for them. Then, okay, we good. But I'm going to go take a guy that's 28, bring him in on a 2-year contract. Somebody finna lose some reps, bro. Somebody losing some reps. And for O-line, for me, what I've seen, O-linemen only get better with game reps, bro. You don't get better in practice, bro. You get better in game situations because teams go. Your team is not going to throw the same amount of haymakers at you that somebody else is going to throw.
Take the same approach that they took when they signed Calvin, or it'll be the same scenario. You signing the veteran guys that can teach the young. They can sit and learn.
But
okay,
they did.
Sit and learn behind him. They can do the same with this kid.
So
I see starting to grow.
So Karras can't teach. So Karras can't teach him right guard. He's played it.
But again, you can never have too much of a veteran presence, bro. That's invaluable.
Nah, you want
That's
that.
invaluable.
You want that. You want that. You want that monster. You want that monster O-line. That's what you want.
Absolutely.
Because it looks like they're trending towards a power run gap, right? A power gap run scheme. So we just want to put the interior is going to be even more. And like I said, ball game, I think a guy like Warford, if Hunt's the real deal at right tackle, I think playing next to a guy like Warford is going to be better for his developmental and his growth as an offensive lineman than playing next to a guy like Kinley, rookie, or Jesse Davis.
What about Karras?
Center.
He gonna play center. Leave him at center.
Yeah.
Well, he could play right guard too.
Okay.
Still a veteran. You're still a veteran.
But Karras is limited in terms of his athletic ability at the guard spot, bro.
And ball game, if we got Warford, arguably he would become our best lineman because I can't name another guy who's been to 3 Pro.
Oh yeah, clearly this would be the best lineman. Clearly.
What's going on,
I don't know, man. 28-year-old guy coming off of 3 Pro Bowls. I think he want to go to a contender still.
Oh,
he might want to go to a contender.
Hey, look. I'm telling you, Miami just might be that team next year.
I'm not doubting any of that, bro. I'm just saying. You know how these cats,
homie.
You know how these. Hey, listen. What did Clowney say? What was his primary reason for not wanting to come?
Because he thought we was tanking for Tua.
He said, what did he say reason?
He thought we were tanking.
Want to be on a contender.
Well, how'd that work out for him? I bet he wishing, sitting here today, that he wished he would have took that contract in. How did that work out for him?
Somebody gonna sign him.
So again,
I think he's going back to Seattle. But
somebody gonna sign him.
Let's get Dwayne in here. What's going on, Dwayne?
Hey, how you doing, gentlemen?
What's good?
Hey, what's going on, homie?
You know, I noticed that you had Godchaux. That was one of my key guys that I wanted on the bus. Another guy that defensive line that I wanted on the bus is Avery Moss. A whole season.
That's already done.
Oh, Avery Moss?
They already cut him.
Yeah.
He's done.
He's gone.
They already cut him.
Oh, they already cut him? Good.
Yeah, they already got rid
I hope
of
he
him.
doesn't have a return to sender on his bus ticket either. Okay? Because he only had 24 tackles, and he was not the stalwart that he should have been, especially coming with some experience from the Giants. But some of the other things that y'all mentioned that I was in agreement with was with Laird. I think that Malcolm Perry is coming for his spot. I don't think that Ballage is in jeopardy of being cut, but I think that his time as a number one definitely is going to be at risk, if not already taken, because of Jordan Howard
and Breida,
and Breida as well. But because Ballage didn't perform well with his pass catching task last year, I think Breida was already going to be put into that position already as a third down back. The additions of, or the signings of Merritt and Perry do put Ford in jeopardy of losing his spot. And ball game, you gave me something to think about with Tankersley, because at 6'1.5" and 199 pounds, he may not be the thumper of a Simmons or a McKinney at the
He can
free
cover,
safety
bro.
position, but he could at least be the cover guy at the free safety position.
Yep.
And he does have an ability to fight for the ball at the apex. So he does attack the ball. He's not a thumper, but that's what you want your strong safety to be.
But he's a secure tackler, though. In the open field, he's a secure tackler too.
He is.
Yeah.
I think he tackles like a safety. I think he tackles like a safety.
Just not with the same level of pop as a strong safety. But he hit you. Hey, he hit you to make you think twice about coming over there.
Yeah.
And again, you know how they love to convert cornerbacks to safeties. They've clearly shown that throughout the years. So
that is true, because he would already have the speed to be able to match up with third and fourth wide receivers. So, and he does have the height that if he did run a 2 tight end set, that he could handle one of those tight ends coming out. So that is a good observation. I'm gonna have to do a little study on that. There are some other persons that I wish to introduce to the Greyhound, or for you and me ball game back in the day, the Continental Trailways bus station. Nobody remembers the Continental Trailways, but the only way that I see Rosen surviving is if they were to put Tua on the physically unable to perform for the first 6-8 weeks of the season. That would be the only way that I could see him not being on that bus because of his lack of scheme.
I don't think they're gonna take that. I don't think they're gonna take the risk.
That would be the only way that he could survive. But and carrying four quarterbacks isn't ideal at this time, especially with the need to carry so many linebackers. And I don't know if Equivon has been cut or not, but that's another one that is probably prime for the Greyhound Trailways bus station as well.
Iguavin?
Iguavin. Iguavin. I don't see tomato. I don't see where there is a space for him with the snaps unless it's on special teams. But I don't know if he's ever played special teams before, whether here or in the Canadian Football League.
Right.
So that's another candidate, considering all the talent that they brought in at the linebacker position. And you have Van Ginkel. He's primed to be the jack linebacker in pass rushing situations, along with Ogber and Shaq Lawson on the ends. So I expect a NASCAR package that they can really rush the passer.
Yep.
And with Baker's failure to complete the job or the task when asked to rush the passer, because there was a lot of times that when he was asked to rush the passer, he would get there, but he wouldn't finish the job. So I think that maybe he has a future with the Dolphins, but not as a outside linebacker, but maybe as if you want him to gain some weight and move to the middle. I'd like to see him lose 5 or 8 pounds and move to a strong safety position in certain run oriented packages.
I said that too.
But again, how much? Again, he's entering a contract year. He's gonna want to get paid. How much are you willing to invest in terms of how much money are you willing to invest in a specialist? Generally, if you're going based off how New England.
I thought his contract was up in 22, not 21.
No,
Not
this will be his
2021.
fourth year. This will be his fourth year. This will be his fourth year.
I
He's
look.
in a contract year.
I thought it said his contract was up in 22, but I'll take a look at that.
I could be wrong, but I know this is his fourth year.
You know, but
how much you willing to pay for us? I just think again, Jerome Baker, him, and y'all act like that'll be such an easy conversion. A player that's never played safety, okay, at this level.
This Baker's third year. We coming into his third year now.
His third year now?
Yeah, he's not up for a contract until 2021.
Yeah,
you sure?
He was drafted. So he's finished the 2018 season. He's finished 2019, and now he's in the 2020 season right now. So this is the third year because Raekwon came out. Raekwon in a contract year. Because Raekwon came out the year before Baker.
Yeah.
No, didn't they draft him the same year?
No, Raekwon came before because Raekwon's first season he didn't even play because he blew his ACL on special teams.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's what it is. I'm thinking. Okay, this is Raekwon fourth year. Okay.
So technically, Raekwon's first year was actually 2018 along with Baker because he had missed the 17 season with the blown ACL.
Yeah,
special teams.
Does have
I got it mixed up, but that's fine. Even then, but even then, I mean, you know, I just don't see again. We all have a level of understanding of how this defense does things. Baker just does not fit the kind of snap count he got last year, especially with the surplus of talent that we have now. It's a logjam. I'm telling you, look, if you take the top four, we can make a projection on who will be, in terms of depth, who will be the four primary inside players, okay? In four primary inside linebackers in our base team. You got Kyle Van Noy, you have Raekwon McMillan, Vince Beagle, and Andrew Van Ginkel. Where you think Raekwon McMillan is going to get playing time? Consistent, especially in a run game, in running situations.
I don't think Van Ginkel will be an inside guy. He's never been an inside guy. He's always been an edge rusher.
No. He's played multiple positions.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Multiple positions. So I think you're not going to play Van Ginkel on the out. Whose spot is he going to take if you play him on the edge as a stand-up outside linebacker? He ain't taking Shaq Lawson's spot. You know he ain't taking Ogba's spot, and you just drafted two prototypical stand-up outside linebackers in the draft. So you know he ain't taking their spot. Where are you going to play him? The only other option is to play him. I'm talking about one for the majority of his snap counts. You're going to play him on the interior because he fits that profile. He did it in Wisconsin. He's done. Go back to the last 4 games of last year. How they were deploying Vince Beagle and Andrew Van Ginkel. They were playing primarily on the inside. And I think, to be honest with you, that's why you saw a significant improvement in terms of the run game the last 3 to 4 games of the season last year.
Well, speaking of that run game, the Dolphins 32nd in rushing. They need no matter what, they need to improve on that defensive line.
That's why you think about
that's why they got Raekwon Davis, but they also need improvement at the 4 technique, and that's why I was like, you need to get rid of Godchaux, you need to get rid of Moss and replace them with new opportunists that can adhere to and do better at stuffing the run, stopping the teams on first down and stopping the teams on 3rd and short, because those 2 categories, the Dolphins were dead last or near last in stopping the run in those situations. And that is how
I was critical of our D line as well, but you can't place 100% of the blame on them for our run defensive issues last year. I think we had problems on the perimeter. I think we had problem on the outside as well. That's why you go get a player like a Shaq Lawson that's stout in a run game. That's how he earned his bones in the NFL. Ogba is the same way. Ogba, to me, when we selected him, he's the wild card coming in this year for me. Because this kid, he gives you the profile. He's 6'4", 6'5". He's got extremely long arm, 35 inch arms. But see, he's a power player, but he's a better athlete than every other in terms of the edge players. He has bend to him. He don't just have to have to beat you with power. He can beat you with finesse as well. So Agba is my wild card. I'm projecting. I am looking for I can easily see in him his sack total going from 8, 9, 10 plus. You know what I mean? This year, if he can stay fit. His problem is since he got into the league, is he can't stay healthy. Even when he was at Cleveland, he could not stay healthy. But in terms of athleticism, edge players, he's a wild card for me going into this year.
I am hopeful that they will have an impact because last year the Dolphins allowed like 6.5 yards on the left on runs on the left defensive end side of the defensive front. That was dead last as well in the NFL. So there needs to be an improvement on the left end, and they have if everything goes according to plan with Shaq Lawson and Agba, they'll have that covered. But they always got to start in the middle, and
I think
that is
ideally,
with a replacement with Godchaux.
I tell you what would be a big plus is for Benito Jones to come in and secure that nose, because I think he's the prototype, in my opinion, the prototypical from a profile standpoint, prototypical nose tackle. And if he's
6'1", 315 pounds,
yeah.
You gotta also watch out for Ray Lima from Iowa State because he was a prototypical nose tackle.
You're right.
And he was very effective at Iowa State.
Right.
Game.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that would be ideal if he can come in and lock that position down, be that true anchor, and then Raekwon Davis is starting over Davon Godchaux. You already know that the writing is on the wall. And I would slide him.
Lima played mostly a 3 technique, but at Iowa State, but he could transition to a 0 or 1 shade with relative ease, and I think that he may be a practice squad person that can be developed into a nose tackle or a right defensive end because of the fact that he has the physical attributes. He just needs to get more technical with respect to playing a 4 or 4-eye technique as a defensive end rather than a 3 as a defensive tackle. But they have made some selections that would definitely put Godchaux on notice that he needs to perform better, and the choices that they've made at the defensive end, outside linebacker, edge rusher slots also should bring about some fruits that we all can enjoy and think about the many varied combinations of rushing with defensive ends and outside linebackers that could rush the quarterback, whether that's Ginkle, whether that's Beagle, whatever the combination may be. I mean, ultimately, that's Flores' choice as to how he wants to deploy those persons. But the fact that there's been a talent upgrade definitely puts Godchaux and let me just make sure that I heard y'all correctly. Y'all have said that Avery Moss has already been removed from the team?
Yeah, Avery Moss was cut a couple weeks ago.
The last depth chart I saw, he was still on it. So, okay. All right.
And I just want to say, too, Ray Lima, he played nose guard in their 5-man front a lot over at Iowa State. So he has been the middle anchor when
they still got Moss on the roster right now, man.
I thought they cut him. He was on that list when they
He's as far as I can see, he's still on the list, but
I thought they cut him a couple like 2 weeks ago when they made those
When the linebacker got
I
cut?
could be wrong though.
Just to talk about one other aspect of I know y'all talked about Matt Cole, but also he made some solo tackles as a special teams person as well. So,
he's at least going to make special teams if he doesn't make the receiving core.
Yep. Yeah. So I like what they've done. The scouting department once again has showed their value from last year, providing Preston Wilson and Nick Needham and Patrick Laird, and this year being able to get Matt Cole away from, because I did read that article on Project X, and to be able to get him despite the efforts of the Ravens, that was a coup, because the Ravens, their scouting department is a direct reflection of Ozzie Newsome, and Ozzie Newsome knew how to pick talent. So the fact that they were able to get Matt Cole, I was very happy with that signing.
Yeah, they didn't. Moss still on the roster, bro. The only people they cut. I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
They cut.
They cut. I could have sworn I saw him on that list, bro.
Yeah. So they cut as of So I'm gonna run it down right quick, so we all on the same page here. 18th they started. So they basically released. Dang, there's a lot of them too. Ooh, wow. Jeez, hold on. All right, so Byron Jones got signed, obviously. Kendrick Norton got cut. Shad Jones got cut.
They just did a batch of releases like last week.
Yeah, Walt Aikman declared free agent. Chase Allen free agent. Aqib Talib free agent. Deion Lacey free agent. Trevor Davis free agent. Vince Beagle restricted. Then they did Adrian Colbert. They cut Adrian Colbert, which was crazy to me.
Did they re-sign him though? I thought they brought him back.
They re-signed him. I got you. They re-signed him. Cut Richard Cowsey, DB. Chidi Okiki. Cut. Signed Karras. John Jenkins is gone. Jamarcus Webb is gone. Mike Hull got cut. Evan Brown got cut. TJ Raming, wide receiver, got cut. Clyde Warford declared a free agent. They re-signed Colbert. Signed Kruger Hill to a 1-year contract. Signed Matt Houck to a 1-year contract. All this was on the 6th. Vince Beagle got a 1-year contract. Siler got a 1-year contract. And Isaiah Ford got a 1-year contract. Cut Jamal Davis. Cut Terry Wright. Cut Gerald Willis, DT. Jake Carlock got cut. This is all April 18th. Lyndon Stevens got cut. Ledbetter. Yeah, they let him go. Matt Breida got traded for the 5th. Terrell Hanks got cut. Samaj Piran, Peppers, Hardage, all got cut. And then they signed all of the kids, and then they just cut traded Charles Harris and cut Taco Charleston. So Moss still on the roster right now.
Man, I could have sworn Moss was on that initial list.
I'm looking at one possible bus ticket is Durham Smythe. He did not perform well last year. I think that was one of the reasons why the run game was so ineffectual, because of his lack of being able to block the 8 and 9 technique that was in front of him, or the strong side linebacker. So he's got to show in training camp that he could be more effective, or he can be on that Continental Trailways bus as well, or Greyhound bus, because
you gotta show some versatility though. You can't just be on the roster just to be a blocker, because then you're showing the hand of the offense. So
right. So that's why I was very pleased with the Michael Roberts signing, and I realized that he's coming off of an injury, but if he can block, then that is another flexible piece that can at least do the job as well as catch the ball. So there's going to be a battle for that third tight end position between him and Robert.
I don't know who they have. I mean, because they only, to my knowledge, they only have 3 tight ends on the roster right now.
No, they got
a numbers game. I mean, generally teams carry 3 tight ends.
They got Chris Myrick, Gesicki, Roberts, and Smythe.
Yeah, there's 4 of them.
Yeah, and then if you want to consider Chandler Cox as a tight end, but he's mostly a fullback. But Smythe really disappointed me. Just figuring that, you know, they drafted him and Gesicki the same year, but he just did not block effective last year, and that along with the guard play last year caused a lot of problems for the running back. So
he's been a bad blocker since Penn State, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Gesicki's been a bad blocker since Penn State.
Oh yeah, but you know what, you knew what you were getting with Gesicki.
Yeah.
But the blocking back was supposed to be Smythe, and that hasn't come to full. He hasn't blocked to his full potential since he's been with the Dolphins. So that's another person that could be getting his bus ticket.
Yeah.
I think he was. I think he ran into the same issue a lot of these kids run into coming out of college. Man, just not core strong. His core is just not strong enough to stand up to blocking these grown men at strong linebacker. At the strong, even at the linebacker and the defensive end spots. Like, they're just not strong enough. So maybe that. I'm trying to give him benefit of the doubt because I saw him get owned a couple times last year, and it was just off brute strength. That it wasn't bad technique. It was just that he just wasn't strong enough to deal with the guy that he was blocking. You know what I mean?
Well,
I gotta get stronger.
That is part of the off season and the off season regimen.
Yeah.
But also, you gotta have a will as well, because sometimes all your job is as a tight end. You're supposed to wall off that defensive end one way or the other, or that outside edge rusher. Wall them off so that an effective run through the T gap can be done. But if you can't have the strength and you don't have the will, blocking is about strength and will. Now, if you don't have either, then you're going to be getting your bus ticket.
So who we comparing him to? Because in all actuality, the guy that I think most people would compare any tight end blocking to would be how effective Gronk was at it, but Gronk 270. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
6'6", 270. He damn near old lineman. You feel me? So,
well, what about look at Kittle's? Same thing.
How big is George Kittle though?
George, that's what I was getting ready to say.
Them boys huge, man.
He's about 6'5", 265, 270.
Yes, those boys are huge.
Yeah. So
Smythe has good size on him. He's 260. He's not small by any stretch.
So that's where I come to the point of whether
I don't know, man. I just never really put a whole lot of. I think the tight ends. I think the tight end help the tackle and then get to the next level and become a passing threat for the quarterback. If we're asking a guy to be there primarily to be talking about a run blocker, then hell, put another tackle out there.
Yeah.
If you're really trying to get it, you know what I'm saying? If you really you put another lineman out there, because a tight end, you're gonna come up short in some of the areas, bro.
We talked about that earlier.
You tip in your hand as to what the play is, and you want that tight end.
Listen, at some point, if it's 3rd and 2, and I need them 2 yards, I'm not gonna put an inept tight end out there talking about trying to fake somebody into believing I'm gonna throw the ball. I'm gonna line up 7 offensive linemen out there and tell you stop me.
That's true, but I'm talking about
we talked about.
And that's about that you're right, ball game. But in those situations where it's 2nd and 5 and you want to run the ball, but you still want to have the flexibility of having a deuce
pass element off of it
and pass off of it sometimes,
That's line up in the I formation and run halfback ISO then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again,
we didn't do any of that. Look how much running we tried to do in single back sets, bro, with an inept O line. Like, come on, like you got some guys to be up there one-on-one blocking. They all were functionally not. Webb wasn't strong. Davenport was definitely not strong. What's his name? Dieter got manhandled. Kilgore was not functional. He's not none of our O linemen last year.
Shaq Calhoun got handled when he came in.
Yeah.
Was strong. Calhoun got manhandled too.
You were giving me all the reasons and justifications for why I should be confirmed or firm in my belief that Smythe deserves a bus ticket because of all those reasons. Where if you want to run in a short yardage situation, then instead of putting him in, put two tackles out there.
Yeah,
so
I think it's a dime position. I think it's a dime position anyway, though. So,
well,
because they flexing them now. Shit, look how much George Kittle line up in the slot.
Yeah. Well, even the second last year. Yeah. Look at how he was using a slot last year. So, well, yeah, we definitely I mean, I can see either.
I feel you, Dwayne. I understand what you're saying, bro. But like, they're not gonna get rid of Smythe until they get another option better than him.
Yeah, you know exactly.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe Roberts is the better choice, and you what would be the justification of carrying 4 tight ends on the roster?
You just let it all play out in training camp.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. It maybe you play it out in training camp. Yeah. Just like with the
I think a lot of these questions will be answered in training camp. So
it's just my opinion that
Smythe might come in. Smythe might come in and we see tangible improvement.
He might come in yoked out 10, 15 pounds heavier and just nasty.
He might.
And if that's the case, then you know what? That signing provided motivation, direction, and purpose.
Everybody need a dog on their heels, bro. Like you need some. Listen, if any position on a team doesn't have somebody behind a guy that's supposed to be the starter pushing them, that's gonna be the weakest position on the team because guys get comfortable, ain't got nobody to look over their shoulder for. You're not gonna get their top play. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Ryan Tannehill.
So, yeah, exactly. We didn't do Tannehill any good. We didn't do him any service by not having somebody to push him every week in practice. He never had to question whether or not he was going to be the guy.
And the one guy that it did, he got hurt.
David
Garrard, because he was going to be the starter.
Oh, yeah. David Garrard definitely was going to be the starter. But
and from that point on, they never even bothered.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's revisionist history.
I gotta go, fellas. It's been good, man.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Appreciate y'all having me on, man.
Football game. Take care.
Ball game.
All right. All right, EM.
All right,
yeah. Much love, brother.
All right. Yeah.
Dwayne, anything else you want to cover before we get out of here? We're running on the 2-hour, 32-minute mark right now.
The only thing that I will say is that when I look at the roster, there are challenges for each and every person at all positions for the first time in a long time. And I like that. And I'm hopeful that whether or not those players that you, EM, and I have identified as persons that need to go, if they show and prove us wrong and deserve to be on the roster, so be it. I'm always going to be for the Dolphins, but by the same token, if it proves that competition shows that they don't deserve to have that roster spot, so be it as well.
Yeah.
Good night, Dolphins.
It's for the betterment of the team, right, Dwayne?
Absolutely.
It's just for the betterment of the team, right, Dwayne? Whether they fit or don't.
Absolutely.
Yep, it's for the betterment of the team.
About the logo, brother.
All about that logo.
And everybody out there, make sure you hit the like button because this channel does some good things as well. So make sure you hit that like button on your way out.
Respect to you. I appreciate you, brother.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So before we get out of here, EM, I just want to bring up one topic just between me and you, because it was something I was talking about yesterday when Jason was on and stuff. So yesterday, me and you were sharing the hypothetical that we could see Joe Burrow, and I specifically gave the hypothetical about Cincinnati and the Cincinnati game, right? The Burrow, and I talked about how the NFL pressure, right? I talked about you could see the NFL showing a little bit of pressure of, hey, we want to see this matchup. Well, when we ended our stream yesterday, a couple interesting things showed up from the NFL, commissioned by the NFL, and I just want to share them because remember where we're at in the season right now. Number one being this. Basically, the caption that went along with this was talking about our pending matchup with them on week 13. Okay. So I was like, okay, well, they're hyping it up a little bit, right? Not too much. It's all good, whatever. Then what comes out a couple hours later, EM? This comes out a couple hours later. Now, does that look like they're already putting some effort into hyping this matchup up, even though Tua hasn't even been declared our starter and we have Fitzpatrick on the roster? Because it sure looks like they're already starting the hype train for that matchup to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the NFL. Absolutely. They want the best players on the field that's going to generate the most ratings that they possibly can. So from an NFL standpoint, that I could see why they're doing that. But I don't, in terms of putting pressure on the Dolphins to start
internal
pressure. And in terms, as far as starting to potentially that, they have an idea. This organization is going to move at their own terms, their own pace. If we get to that point and they think Tua is ready, they want to try Tua out and put him out there and see what they have, they'll do that. But whether or not the NFL starts hyping this up now or for the next, however long, it's not going to have any bearing on the timetable and the time frame that the Dolphins already have designated in terms of implementing Tua into the starting lineup. So, but yeah, the NFL, they're going to do that, bro. They're all about ratings. The NFL, the game of football is the number one reality show, TV show in the world.
Brother.
You know what I mean?
I forget what news outlet it was. It wasn't the Miami one, but they basically said they talked about how rough Tua Tagovailoa's first 5 games in the NFL are going to be in terms of how the schedule played out. And I read the headline like, do these guys know something I don't know, that he's already been appointed the day one starter? Like, that's what I'm saying. Even other media outlets outside the NFL are already starting to hype the Tua's going to be starter this year type thing.
Yeah, so, the NFL, they're going to do their job to put him, because Tua, he's box office. Tua is box office. So obviously, again, the NFL wants box office players out there that's going to generate the most buzz in terms of ratings. Yeah. So, yeah, you can see him doing it indirectly, but again, it's not going to have any bearing on any influence on what time frame and timetable that they have as far as putting Tua out there, starting. So,
And I agree with that. I don't think Florida is going to be pressured for sure. But I can just already tell that these guys, they're already starting to cook it up, man, and they're already starting to build up a meeting. They need to slow the roll.
And I'm falling victim to it. I want to see him, bro. I want to see him. I want to see him on the field, bro. I have to fight that. You know what I mean? I have to. I've got to pump the brakes in terms of my anticipation of him on the field. So I'm falling victim as well, bro, because I want to see him on the field. But no, bro, they're just doing what they do.
Anything else you want to say before we get out of here, brother?
No, bro. Just appreciate everybody coming through. Ball game always. Dwayne, Havoc, Larry, everybody in the comment section. We appreciate the love and support. And Fins up all day, every day. Y'all already know what time it is.
Guys, we'll be back next week. Hold on a sec. We just got a PayPal donation. We will be back next week. We'll probably be back on Monday. And then we haven't figured out which day of the week next week that EM's going to be running his edge evaluation show on the free agent signings of Kyle Van Noy, Emmanuel Ogbah, and Shaq Lawson, but it's looking like that will be coming next week.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Y'all look out for that.
So, we just got a PayPal donation of $15 from Fake Spike. Love it, brother. You always show support.
Fake Spike, you killing me over here, man. Oh, man. You killing me over here.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely owe you a couple rounds when we come down and catch a Miami game, brother. But he donated $15 and he said, "I love the show tonight. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it, Fake Spike. You're the man, brother."
Really appreciate it, bro.
Guys, we thank you guys for coming out and spending some of your Friday night with us. We're going to get out of here. We will see you guys next week. We'll probably see you on Monday, and then we'll let you know what the rest of the schedule for the week is in terms of where we'll be streaming and when. So, guys, everybody, thank you for coming out. We hope you enjoyed the show. Everyone who took the time to come backstage and hop on, appreciate you as well. As always, you guys know what it is. It's Fins Up all day, every day, guys. Have a good